Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 322, recorded live on September 23rd, 2025. My name is Steve, and I'm joined by Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing?
Hey everybody, doing all right. Little allergies kicking my butt, so if I sound a little nasally, I do apologize. My nose is a little stuffed up, a little phlegm in the throat again. It's fall, so it's the change in temperature again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know exactly what you mean. If my voice is a little lower in an octave, you know why as well. But Greg, how are you doing? You back to normal?
For the most part, sometimes it feels like I still have like a frog in my throat at times. So like it might feel like a weird like coughing coming here and there, but for the most part, I feel back to normal. Thankfully, I know after like last episode is right when it started kicking in full force, like during the podcast itself. So um, yeah, it easily kicked my butt for like the first week or so, and then it was pretty much once the meds and everything kicked in, then I was back to much closer to back to normal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully you guys are feeling well, even though we're not doing the greatest. But hopefully you're doing well. And on this episode, we're going to be talking a lot about the recent events, especially the recent Nintendo Direct that I think dropped right after. Pretty much basically right after our last episode, a few days after the one of those rare Friday Nintendo Directs. But we'll also be jumping into Indie Fan Fest and Game Devs of Color Expo and Play Acclaim and Eastasiasoft and a lot more. But before we jump into any of that and what we've been playing, we just want to thank you guys so much for being here. And we are here in spite of us maybe not feeling the best because we enjoy talking games with each other, but also engaging with you guys during our live shows. So if you haven't joined us for a live show, we do that 8 a.m. or sorry, 8 p.m. That'd be crazy if we did 8 a.m. 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific every other Tuesday. We'd love for you guys to join us in the live chat. Speaking of that live chat, if you are joining us tonight, let us know that you're there and let us know what you've been playing and all your thoughts on the different news that we'll be talking about during this episode as well. If you haven't followed us on social media or joined our Discord, be sure to do that as well. All those links are going to be in the show notes and the YouTube description. So let's jump into what we've been playing, and let's go to you first, Greg.
Unfortunately, my list is awfully short this time around. So, pretty much, I was wrapping up some of the Lori stuff for the game chat that me and Barry be will be recording here soon, possibly tonight after the podcast, or if not, sometime in the very near future. But the main game that I've been playing a lot is the Silk Song, the greatest sequel that Team Cherry produced that we talked a lot about. At least me and Barry did like two episodes ago, and then finally got a chance to dive into it and get pretty far. And initially, at least, it was kicking my butt because, as with the first one, it is a pretty difficult game, and then especially not having played it for at least whatever 6, 7 years, whatever that's been. It's quite a learning curve to get all the moves mastered and kind of remember the kind of play style, and then kind of remembering how everything works there. So right now, I'm really much enjoying the story, doing a lot of exploration, found a number of the different power ups, but then like the bosses, as I was saying, are pretty much annihilating me, and it's taking a lot of trial and error and trying to memorize the attack patterns and like when certain attacks are coming and all that kind of stuff to more thoroughly dodge. You can't just go in there and hack and slash and hope for the best and that you win. So it's like you do have to go through different phases that get a little bit more difficult and have more things to dodge and a few different new attacks to kind of pick up as the battle progresses. So it's been quite a struggle to get through a number of the bosses. So I don't know exactly where I'm at progress wise, but I've at least unlocked a different like the fourth or fifth area or whatever of the map because like there's like different regions that are kind of all interconnected, kind of like a traditional Metroid game where each area is just named differently. So not quite sure how that pans out in the grand scheme of things for progress, but I have been slow but steady and really enjoying my playthrough so far, even though it sometimes can be frustratingly difficult to get through certain bosses. But yeah, other than that, I'm still doing the mobile games like Cookie Run Kingdom and also on Roblox doing Adopt Me and Dandy's World. Both had pretty big updates in the last 2 weeks here. So like at least for Adopt Me, you're now able to like age your pets while you're offline and out of the game. So that's very brand new for this kind of game. Normally, other games have like different things that you can still get money or experience or whatever for just not being actually in the game. And finally, this one is following suit, being one of the original Roblox games, finally to let you get some benefits when you're not actually in the game. So pretty exciting that they finally got that fan feature implemented. But that's pretty much all I've been up to the last 2 weeks here.
Nice. I've actually been, because of all the attention around Silk Songs, actually maybe start to look into it. Is the difficulty there mostly because of just the enemies, the bosses, things like that, or is it also difficult to like figure out the puzzles or like where to go and stuff like that?
The where to go is pretty much somewhat straightforward, at least, because it's kind of like you do get like the map, and then you do have to like buy each of the maps for each of the areas, and then there like it doesn't give you like the full region. There still lets you get to add in like extra like nooks and crannies that you find along the way. But I mean, it's kind of playing like a traditional like I guess even Super Metroid, where you don't initially have the map, and then like you'll find like a map station, and it kind of gives you like the map of the somewhat area, but it's not like a complete map of the area. And then, um, but a lot of it more is like the enemies take like multiple hits to defeat. So then some of them you are kind of trying to learn some like the attack patterns, kind of similar to like Zelda 2 style kind of thing, where you have to can't just repeatedly strike and then they just go down after like 2 3 hits. Like some of them will take whatever 7 8 9 10 hits, not like a Goomba and you're one and done and you're moving on to the next thing. And or you can obviously jump around them or get like do other things like that. You don't necessarily have to fight everything either, but um yeah, and the main thing is you only have like five. Initially, it's like five, I guess, the equivalent of a heart container in Zelda, but the bosses usually do like one hit takes off two of those. So like you technically get three main hits to survive, and then that's where it can be kind of difficult. I mean, you do get like a self heal where it will recover. Um, I think it's like three or like yeah, I think it's like three of them because it's not like a full health restore, but then that can pretty much it builds up your meter for every successful hit you land against like any regular enemy or even like a boss enemy. But the main thing is just trying to you do need like a few like 2 3 4 seconds of like stillness and not being attacked to get the full life back. If the enemy hits you while you're in the middle of recovering, it just cancels the recovery, but then like you don't die though.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Barry, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I've been playing quite a few games, and to start off, doing my usual, right? My usual Pokemon Unite and Asphalt Legends Unite. Still doing those daily. Boot up Pokemon Scarlet, the last of the shiny legendaries that they're giving away for free went up. So if you haven't gotten them, they're all there. You can get 4 free legendaries just for booting up the game and going to mystery gift. So definitely worth it. It's free legendaries and they're shiny. Then played a couple games for upcoming game chats. One that I will not be doing a game chat on is Carrier Deck. It is an aircraft carrier simulator and the controls are so goddamn awful. I couldn't really do much of this game, and it didn't pique my interest. It was not fun. It was way more frustrating than it should have been, especially to start off in the tutorial, and it wasn't operating properly. And I quit it. So that's certainly a game that came out. Um, then a couple other games. A game called Truck Driving, which is a obstacle course truck driving game that truly feels like someone's high school project, but released on the Switch. A game called Dead Charge, which is actually developed by somebody in our NintendoFuse Discord. So he finally got his game on Switch. It's a Mega Man style 2D action run and gun platformer. So we'll be doing a game chat on that soon. Another game called Rally Arcade Classics. It is a rally racer slash rally obstacle course, really. And we'll be doing a game chat on that soon. And then a game that I did called Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree, which again, we'll have a game chat on it. But if you like Metroidvanias, it's a Souls-like Metroidvania, deep story, voice acted, uh, challenging. Kind of like a Hollow Knight Silk Song. The bosses are difficult. When you die, you lose your orbs, and you got to come back and get them. But very rewarding. So look forward to that soon. And then I finally finished after over like 230 hours. I finally finished the 100 line Last Defense Academy. I got all 100 endings, and it's a lot. And I could definitely say that not all endings are created equal. There are definitely some weaker endings and weaker paths. From what I understand, the way the game launched, you couldn't skip battles, nor could you skip exploration events, and that would have drove me crazy by the end of it. Thankfully, you can now. You can skip battles after you've seen the battles. The first time you have to do the battle, but when you've seen the battle like 13 times, like you just skip it. Um, and the same with exploration events, so that makes it a lot easier. The only negative I could say about the game is there were questions that I wanted answered that are never answered, and I don't know if they will be answered. And I think that comes from the fact that there's so many different routes in this game, and they're all done by different writers. So some of them, I think we're trying to do something that none of the other writers were doing, so it never goes anywhere, and it leaves you like, wait, what was happening in that? Why did that happen? And I kind of forgive him because there's so much content in this game, and each of these storylines is a new game. So there's like 20 different routes. So it's like 20 different games in this one game, and it is fantastic overall. The characters are great. They're some you love, some you hate, but they're done properly. And man, I couldn't wait to keep going. So I'm sad that it's done, but after 230 hours, I'm also kind of glad it's done at this point, just to move on, just to play something else. And play something else I did, in addition to the games I already said. Uh, Trails of the Sky, the first demo came out, and the great thing about these demos is it gives you the prologue of the game, and it carries over. So if you've never played the Trails of series, which I've talked about to death on this podcast, I love it. This is a great starting point because this is technically the first game in the series. So try the demo, and if you like it, then move on, which is exactly what I did on the Switch too. I am playing Trails of the Sky, the first chapter, the Switch 2 edition, and I am at the end of the third chapter out of 4 or 5 if you count the prologue. So it's not a very long game. Um, it's a fun JRPG, wonderful story. And what's weird is because this is the first game, I know all these characters already because I've seen them in all the other games. So it's kind of weird and cool to see how they first interacted and how they met each other. Whereas if this is going to be your first game, you're going to see these characters for the first time as they were intended to be introduced to you. But know that this is not the end of their story by the end of the game. There's so much. This is an ongoing world that is truly something special. So if you haven't tried it yet, try the demo. The Switch 2 upgrade is only $1, so and it does count. So you buy the Switch 2 version, the demo will transfer over. You buy the Switch 1 version and pay the dollar to get the Switch 2 version. You're good. So definitely recommend it. PC, I'm still doing Final Fantasy 14. I've also been playing a game called Dragon is Dead, which is a 2D action roguelike, where when you die, you lose all your relics that you collect, but you keep all the currency, so you can buy better gear. Better gear happens every run. Tons of great bosses, tons of great story, a lot of fun action. So if you enjoy those type of games, I highly recommend it. This is coming to consoles, but right now it is only PC. So I've been playing the PC version, and then on mobile, I have been playing my usual Mario Kart Tour, the New York Times games, LinkedIn games, and Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Nice. It was surprising to see you playing another game on your Switch this week. When I looked at your profile or whatever, it wasn't saying, the hundred
I
line
did
again.
I did quite a bit. I did Mandragora. I
Hmm.
beat Mandragora. I did obviously Trails of the Sky, but I also did some of the other game chat games in between, which I needed. I needed that, like, because what Shoten Order just came out, which is by the same creators, and I really wanted to play it. And my goal was to finish 100 line and then do Shooting Order before doing Trails of the Sky. Little did I realize 100 line was going to be a 200+ hour game, and now I'm like, before Shooting Order, I need a break. I need to do more than just read at this point, because by the end of it, it was just reading. It was literally just reading. So I'm like, I need to play something else. So I'm playing something else, which is good. But I like having the ability to play a wide variety of genres. You don't
Hmm.
get burnt out on one. You get to pick and choose. So it's nice to like a bunch of different genres. But yeah, I was very nice to boot up something. Very happy to boot up something else as well. But I figured you would see that and go like, oh, he's not playing it anymore.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
I
different.
just was thinking about that as I was there. You think you can get them?
I think Greg's talking to someone else right now.
Greg is talking to somebody else right now, so you're hearing on Greg's other conversation. I don't know if he can hear us, but he's
No, I
secretly
don't really know.
ordering. I don't know. I don't know what he's
um,
doing.
yeah, so let us know what you guys have been playing in the chat. I finally booted up the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales demo. And this is like a pre-release demo. I think the ability to give feedback on it is already closed. But I went ahead and played it and had fun. I could tell that it's not where it needs to be yet, but it was overall a good experience though, and it was fun and really pretty. So I'm excited to see where the game goes in the future. It's kind of cool that sometimes we do get these kind of opportunities to check it out as it progresses and as they get better at it. So I'm interested to see where they go from there, because I can see that there's some quality of life kind of things that they can definitely continue to improve. Um, but the overall game was fun though. I had a good experience. I listed Daemon X Machina, Titanic Sun, and Yakuza 0 on my list, and I'm just realizing that I did not play those since the last episode. I played those last episode, but we do have a game chat on Yakuza 0 that's out right now, and I'll be doing a review soon of Daemon X Machina. But Barry talked about this one earlier, as we're going to do game chat on Rally Arcade Classics. It is a racing game that is fairly basic, but also kind of difficult, because it's rally. So yeah, we'll talk about more of that in a future game chat. Also booted up Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and I said to myself, I'm going to figure out why I can't get past this game, this certain spot, and I finally figured it out. And Barry, I know you played it. Greg, have you played The Lost Crown? I can't remember.
No, I don't. I don't believe so.
Okay. So I'm not spoiling really anything, but especially because the game's been out like a year and a half at this point. But so Barry, do you remember the large enemy that grabs you and throws you into prison?
Yeah.
And if you do have the ability to defeat him, he respawns almost immediately. I didn't realize that you can just run past him. So that's why I was stuck. I kept trying to fight him over and over and over again, and then he'd respawn. I'm like, what is the deal? I can't do anything. And then I finally looked at a guide online and I saw someone just jump over him and speed past him. I'm like, wait, that's all I have to do? And so I've made it quite a bit further in the game now because I finally figured that out. So that was annoying, but now I'm having fun and progressing again. So that's been fun, instead of just being stuck like I was before. Another game that I went back to because I thought I was stuck was Life is Strange 2 Colors, because I haven't played Steph's story, which is called Wavelengths, and in the Nintendo Switch version, I was like kept trying to click the button, and it said you're not logged in. So I'd hit log in, the button for login, and it would do nothing over and over and over and over and over again. And Barry and I were just talking about this the other day. I was like, I really want to play this. It's the only thing in Life Strange that I haven't played yet. It'd be great to actually play this thing. And I come to find out, I apparently didn't have the DLC, but at least on the Switch version, it makes it look like you do because it's there. And so I click on it, and it doesn't. It says you're not logged in, because I had the demo or the review code that they gave me apparently had some things from the DLC, but not all of it, because I had some of the extra costumes, but I didn't have the Wavelengths DLC. And so like I just went in and bought it from the eShop, and so I played through that. And I kind of I'm having a little bit of regret that I bought it though. Because
Really, I
I
enjoyed
didn't
it.
really enjoy it that much. And it was okay, but it wasn't worth the like $12-13 or whatever for the DLC, because you have to buy it in the bundle on the Switch. And so you have to get it
Oh,
with the costumes. And so there was no way to buy just Wavelengths on its own. And that, like, if that was only like maybe $7 or $8, it'd been okay. But I had to buy the other thing with it, and I was like, I'm having a little bit of regret, just
buyer's
from
remorse.
yeah, buyer's remorse there. But oh well, at least I've
See,
experienced all of Life is Strange now.
I like the story because it's more laid back because you're just in the record shop, and I love how it ends exactly where you meet Steph in True Colors. So that
Yeah,
all happens right before that
yeah,
in the game. So it does connect perfectly.
yeah. It's fun, but I you don't need it. And
You don't
so
need it.
like, yeah. And so
It's a
and
side
I
gimmick.
thought at least maybe there would be something there, like even, there's certain things that she jokes around with, and you're like, oh, does she actually have powers too? And then it leads into nothing, and so it's like all these different things. They're like almost set you up, and then nothing, and it's just kind of this slice of life kind of thing. And I would have
Yeah.
rather seen something be a little more weighty in it, I guess. But it was okay. Like I think the big thing is that if it came with it and I played it, I wouldn't have been regretting my time. It's just the fact that like I kind of spent money on it, and I don't know if I really needed to do that. Um, but oh well.
It
Um,
fleshes out her character more, though. And what's
sure.
really cool is it makes you choose how you ended the first game,
Hmm.
and depending on how it ended, it does like slightly affect what she listens to and what she hears and
Mm,
stuff.
yeah.
Because she was in Arcadia Bay because she's from
Right.
before the storm, and she moved out before the events of the first game, right before the
Hmm.
events of the first game.
Yeah. Yeah. And that some of that was like, okay, who's Mikey again? Who's these people? Like it's been a while since I played that game. And so it took me I had to like search back and, my memories to remember what was going
That was
on
the
and
Dungeons and
everything.
Dragons friend
Yeah.
of hers, wasn't it? Where they, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they ended up playing some over video chat and all this stuff. So I mean it was fun, but a little buyer's remorse there. And then I also played some Dead Charge as well. Like Barry said, one of the guys from our Discord created that, and so it's been fun to play that. We'll talk about it more in a future game chat. Played some Rocket League, of course, not as much as I used to, but played them a little bit. The new season just came out, which actually is featuring Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit more. Um, and so that's kind of interesting that they brought in Sonic for this last or this newest season.
Crossover with his new game.
Yep. And then Pokemon TCG Pocket, Clash Royale, and lastly on mobile as well. And Video Game Collector's Guide. Hey, there's Tristan in the chat.
Hey,
So
Tristan.
Thanks for joining us, Tristan, and let us know what you've been playing as well. We're going to be moving on to some headlines now, but again, if you have not let us know in the chat what you've been playing, please let us know. Or if you're watching this after the fact or listening to this after the fact, head over to YouTube and throw those in the comments, or head to our YouTube, our social media, or our Discord. We'd love to know what you guys have been playing as well. So let's head into these headlines. And in order to save my voice a little bit, Greg and Barry are going to take over the headlines tonight. So, Greg, kick us off and let us know what's happening over on the Nintendo Music app.
All right, so we actually got 3 different games that got some soundtracks added in the last 2 weeks here. So on the 15th, we got the soundtrack for Super Mario Galaxy 2. On the 18th, we actually got a few of those soundtrack songs from Donkey Kong Bonanza, not the entire album, just like a select thing in honor of the DLC that we'll be talking about later. And then on the 21st, we actually finally got the soundtrack for Zelda II, The Adventure of Link, everyone's favorite Zelda adventure game. So if you want to check out all the other musical updates, be sure to check out the app and take a listen to some great music from Nintendo's older consoles.
And if you want to watch another video game showcase, we're going to be talking a lot about them today. The Indie Fan Fest is happening tomorrow, 9/24. It is happening at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And the Indie Fan Fest is a new curated showcase from The Mix and Digital Banditos. It spotlights unreleased indie games, launching demos in the upcoming Steam Next Fest. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, tune in tomorrow. You might find your next favorite game.
And then just within the last week or so, we had the Game Devs of Color Expo. They had their own little direct full of different games. So you can see that we're playing a little bit of the trailer here, but we didn't really have any breakdown of the games that were covered in this immediate discussion here. So I'll be sure to give them a check out if you happen to miss it.
And finally, if the one showcase tomorrow isn't enough for you, how about two? Sony has just announced they have a 35-minute state of play happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. So there's no cross pollination there. You can watch them both. There's no conflict. Um, as we know, this is a Sony presentation, but a lot of third-party games are shown off on each, like a Nintendo Direct or a state of play, that do go to other platforms. So we might get some brand new third party releases. So if you're interested, check it out.
Nice. Greg, what do you think about these headlines? Anything stand out to you?
For sure, definitely the musical stuff this time around. So, while preparing for this episode, I saw all 3 of the notes that you put in there for it, and then I immediately was still at the park with my daughter's soccer practice, and I actually was listening to a number of the tracks from Donkey Kong Bonanza and even like The Adventure of Link. And I was like, I can't believe they finally added Adventure of Link, because I always thought that had a really good soundtrack, despite the game not being everyone's favorite, but because everyone's favorite temple theme is from there from Smash Brothers that they have remixed several times. But really excited to see the selection of music there. Obviously, I wish there was more for Bonanza, but I guess that's going to be further down the road once the game has been out for quite some time here. Um, I didn't really check out the Game of Devs Color Expo, so that'll be something I'll have to personally go back and watch it there. Probably won't tune into the state of play, and just will just be catching any recaps for any missing news there. And then with the Indie Fest, I'll hopefully try to give that a watch, because usually there's always some really good indie games there for that I always make note to download later. And that's how I found awesome games like Cat Quest 3 and some other ones that I've picked up over the last few years.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is one of the first times that I was like, "Oh, I may actually boot up the Nintendo Music app, especially for the Donkey Kong Bonanza soundtrack." That's pretty great. It's interesting they only did 9 tracks though. I wonder why they're holding out, but maybe just to trickle it out there and make us keep coming back. So, Barry, what have you been, or what's exciting for you out of these headlines?
we're jumping back to the beginning of the podcast. Uh,
I'm not with it tonight.
yeah, so I think Nintendo Music ads are really good. I'm surprised it took this long to get Zelda 2 music, but I'm happy it's there. I didn't boot up the Nintendo Music app, but my wife actually did for the Donkey Kong Bonanza stuff, so it's nice to see them continuously add. I also did not catch the Game Devs of Color Expo, so I'll have to check that out. And I love seeing so many showcases for indie games because there's just more and more indie studios and developers every single day. It feels like so. Another spotlight, especially because these are early games. These aren't games that are going to come out right away. These are like ones with demos and part of the Steam Next Fest. So a lot of those games, come over to Switch. So it'd be really cool to see what's there. And I mean, I have a PlayStation. I enjoy PlayStation too, so I'm interested to see what Sony shows off. But a lot of times, just like Nintendo, they'll show off games that are third party, and then it'll be like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And then it's like, "Oh, that's also coming to Switch. Cool." I'm glad you shut it off, but I'll depending on where I decide to buy it.
Nice. Yeah, I think, like I said, the Nintendo Music app, that's pretty exciting for me this time. Always exciting to see what new games are coming out. And I didn't really check out Game Devs of Color either, but just looking at their website just a little bit more, they've got a lot of people that they've brought in to really to like speak and be on panels and everything. So it's really cool that they've been highlighting a lot of developers of color, and so be sure to check out their website, gamedevsofcolor.org, if you want to learn more about it and see what they showed off and everything. I think a lot of things you had to be there in person, but they did have some watch parties and stuff like that too. So you should probably be able to find more online, but definitely the first place to go would be gamedevsofcolor.org, and you'll be able to see all the different people that they highlighted in the games and stuff like that too. So um, and then going back to the chat, looks like Tristan's saying that he's been playing some One Punch Man and some Ninja Gaiden, and I'm guessing it's the new one. And then he says the temple theme is so good, and it also plays like a dream. Oh, that's really cool. I'm thinking at some point I may play it, but we'll see. Well, let's head into our main discussion. And on this episode, we've got three different main discussions that we'll be talking about, two smaller ones and one quite a bit larger. So let's hop into this first one because Acclaim is back, and they had an event on September 10th. And Greg's going to tell us all about what went down on that event, and then we can discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll probably just do this and to split it right down the middle, like in around halfway here. So there's like a only like I don't know, like 8 or 9, 10 games or so that were shown off at this particular event. So without further ado, we have Gridbeat was one of the first ones off the bat, and it's like a rhythm action side scroller where you can take predetermined paths and then obviously have to jump and stuff to the beat of the music. Right now, it's only confirmed for PC at the time it's recording, so hopefully it'll make its way onto Switch or other consoles. Then we have Basketball Classic. It was a retro 8-bit 5-on-5 basketball game with over 1,000 players modeled after real players. And it has like some of the legends from past eras, so it's not only just the current set of players in the NBA. And it's available now on PC and supposedly coming soon to consoles, whatever that means or how soon it might be. We have Ground Zero Hero. That is an action roguelike survival game set in a post apocalypse where the only way to survive is to eat as much candy as possible. And then, similar to Gridbeat, it's only confirmed for PC on Steam, but and no even launch window or anything was covered there. And then for the next one for this I think around the halfway point that we'll take a stop and see what you guys think is Pixel Washer, which is puts the players in the hooves of an adorable little piggy who must clean the world around him with his little water gun. And then there's pretty much the trailer showing cleaning various different things like vehicles and buildings and other things that he can hose down with his little water gun. So right now it's also slated to launch on PC, and no other platforms were confirmed for that. So um, if we do see any of them on Switch, or if we do plan again for PC, is there any that stood out to you, Barry, at all?
The first four, Gridbeat looks pretty cool. That's probably the biggest one. Ground Zero Hero could be fun. It looks like a Vampire Survivors clone. So that one could be fun. And Pixel Washer, I feel like the devs took a look at Power Wash Simulator and said we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Anything stand out to you from these first four here?
Um, Probably kind of Gridbeat, but not. I'm not really sure about it yet. I think the big disappointment was the Basketball Classic game. Like I was expecting something better than Double Dribble remastered. And it's not even remastered. It's like basically they brought it back and it's 5-on-5 and it's I'm sure it's going to be okay, but it's basically a Double Dribble. And I want something new. Which basically was kind of my thoughts about this entire event from Acclaim. I want something new, not just a bunch of older looking games. And so, like, older looking's fine, but I was really desiring something new and fresh from them, and I was kind of let down.
Yeah, at least for me personally, the main one that I was at least remotely interesting was the Pixel Washer, because it almost sounds like it's something like a Super Mario Sunshine, where you're just using like water and cleaning off stuff. And as Barry said, it might just be the Power Wash Simulator too. But um, I don't know. I'm not like heavily invested in most of these here, because I'm not really into the rhythm platforming games, and also even a lot of the sports games as well. So that was like the main reason for that one. But moving on, we have um, Talaka is a fast-paced, combat-centric roguelite that features hand-painted world and Afro-Brazilian culture and folklore. And then you pretty much fight giant mythical beasts, and you can upgrade your characters and can find the different gods of interact with the different gods of the world. And we have Toss Down, which is a delivery boy has to jump off or drop off some packages by running, jumping, and avoiding obstacles, and range from like cars and other people to even to explosions and missiles, and even a lot more different things you can do. You can unlock special powers like jet boosts and double jumps. We have the Prisoning Fletcher's Quest. It's a pretty much kind of starting a game developer that's suffering from anxiety as he nears the end of his project, and it pretty much just traps him in a Metroidvania style dungeon version of his own mind, and he has to fight the negative feelings, among other things, to escape from it. And we have Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate, and it's like an arcade style snowboard racing game. Kind of features similar to SS Tricky. Players will choose from a colorful roster of snowboards and race down mountains, cityscapes, and more, performing cool tricks and scoring points. And then finally, we have Katanaut, the final game of the showcase, and it's a grim and bloody Metroidvania set in a deluxe spaceship in the middle of nowhere. And then you pretty much will battle horrific monsters. They try to escape the situation and find other survivors, and also get some cute pets. It's made a notable note for that. And it said available now on PC, but I guess it hasn't been confirmed for any type of consoles at this point either. So, Barry, again, did any of these next four or last four stand out to you at all?
This was definitely the better half of the showcase. There's definitely Katanaut looks really cool. Uh, Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate. I love SX Tricky, so that that definitely caught my eye. Talaka. I love the watercolor. I love the history. I love the just the way it worked, the beasts, everything. It just looked really cool. And then the Prisoning Fletcher's Quest is actually a game I've known about for a while because it's actually created by a friend of mine, and I was really happy to see it here because I know he wasn't sure if he was going to get a publisher. Looks fantastic. Love Metroidvanias. He's a very talented and definitely excited to see that come out for sure.
What about you, Steve? Any of these five stand out to you?
Yeah, I'm with Barry on that too. Like the first half was like, like I don't know about this, and the second half definitely did pick up I think I don't know if I'll play Talaka, but the art style is really cool. I think the idea that you're going to go, you get to learn some Afro Brazilian culture and everything through it is cool. I think the same thing with the prisoning is cool. Like even though the game itself doesn't look like fresh and new, just being able to um, connect through people who are having anxiety and what you're going to be able to play through is a new kind of experience, and so that's kind of fun to be able to do. But I don't know if I'm going to play either of those. The snowboard game looks fun. I loved SSX Tricky, but like I played SSX Tricky, and I could, like that's. I'm like, I want something new and fresh. So I think that's the biggest thing. Katanaut, I will need to see more of it. I think to know what I think of it. I'm not, as we've talked about before, I'm not a huge up on like someone that plays a lot of horror games, and this seems like it's very very horror, but it's also a side scroller, so it won't be the same as a first person horror game. So I need to see more. But again, a lot of these are not coming out for consoles or Switch at least right now, and so I'll be holding back until they do. So I'm not excited necessarily about any of them right now.
Yeah, I guess I agree with both of you there. The Prisoning Fletcher's Quest is probably the biggest highlight of the entire one for me. I do like my Metroidvania type games, so this one really seemed like it would be the clear standout among the 9 games that they showed off. I mean, I'm not usually into like the horror type games, and I know like Katanaut is also a Metroidvania game, but I don't know about the horror aspect of it. It's not like I get like frightened easily or anything, but it just like I don't usually typically play a lot of horror games, but it might be something that I could check out, providing it does come to Switch or Switch 2 or something. So, um, like you, I'd probably still need more trailers or hopefully even a demo if it's ever comes available on consoles, and it would be something that I would definitely give a shot if there was a demo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that pretty much concludes this particular showcase, and can hand it off to Barry to cover the next one.
Well, I just want to say, like, one of those things, like, I was so excited for the showcase. I loved Acclaim games growing up. And I feel like this showcase they were banking on nostalgia. In between every game, they showed little snippets of the games we love from Acclaim. Even Mortal Kombat was shown off for a second or two. And I feel like they like, all right, we're giving you our earliest of early games. Nothing about this presentation, and no offense to any of the devs because the games look good, but none of them screamed Acclaim to me.
Mm-hmm.
None of them. You could have told me this was P Cube, and I would have been like, okay, it's P Cube. You could have shown me it was Maximum Games. I would be like, yeah, it's like nothing about this was Acclaim. And at the end, I was like, are they bringing something back? Just something. I understand they can't come out swinging with all of their games or all their old IP. They might not even own their old IP anymore, for all we know. But something to harken back to the Acclaim of origin, and I don't feel we got that. I think we got some great games shown off, and some that I am interested in. But again, none of them to me scream Acclaim, and I feel terrible for saying that, but that's just how I feel.
Oh, it's true. I mean, I felt the exact same way, and they hyped this thing up so much.
Very
I
much.
mean, it wasn't just us as the gamers that were really excited for Acclaim to come back. Like they themselves were hyping up. They were going on different, like bigger, video game shows and all this stuff and talking about it. And we were like, all right, this is gonna be awesome. The return of Acclaim. And we talked about it here, and I was hoping for, I don't know how they were gonna do it because I don't think they have IP anymore. But NBA Jam and all that stuff. Even Tristan's talking about the voice Tim, whatever his name was, Tim Kitzrow, who's the original voice of NBA Jam. All those different things would have been awesome to be able to rekindle that. Like that's what I want. The Acclaim that was back there, and they really did. They played a lot on that nostalgia and gave us some games that I don't think any of them look horrible, but none of them scream Acclaim. and none of them make me go, I'm so excited Acclaim is back. Like these games could have been published by anybody,
Anybody.
and I'm sure they're gonna be fine. But give me some stuff that screams Acclaim, because we like you, Acclaim, for who you are.
And that's not to say you can only do that. You could
Yeah.
do exactly what you're doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But just, and it's great that they're doing this, and I don't want to say it's bad that they're doing what they're doing. They're helping these 9 devs get their games out there. That is awesome, and it's
Absolutely.
very much appreciated, and should be championed. Like that is a good thing. Good on you, Acclaim, for doing that. But if you're gonna hype up something which you are totally leading into the nostalgia, you're using it throughout the showcase, and you do a one more thing, no matter what you showed off, if it wasn't an older Acclaim IP, even if it was a remaster or something, you were going to disappoint people. That would be like Nintendo doing a direct where they just kept showing Mario jumping around there and hyping up the 3D Mario and then never showing a 3D Mario. What was the point of showing the Mario there? To pull on nostalgia. That's all you're doing. You're playing with the nostalgia, but you're not delivering.
Yep.
So it's unfortunate for these 9 games because I feel like they get the showcase, but they also have this negative outlook because they aren't what we were hoping for. They aren't what Acclaim promised to us, or at least teased to us. And
Mm-hmm.
it's unfortunate because it's not the devs' fault. These are all independent developers doing their own games. They're not Acclaim games. They're just Acclaim is publishing them. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, this is just the start, and Acclaim will be able to reclaim their IP if they've lost any, or use the IP that they already have. So I guess we'll wait and see. But I wish them nothing but the success. I want them to stay around.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, didn't they do the Double Dragons back on the NES? And then, like, I know Double Dragon, like we've covered, like there's been like either like remasters or even like re-releases and like packages
Yeah.
that they've done somewhat recently. So I don't know if that's like one of the IPs that they had lost, or maybe they only had published it or whatever. I don't know if I
I think
understand it fully, but
I think they just published it. Or I think Arc System Works owns Double Dragon, but they don't always publish the games either because
Mm-hmm.
like Maximum Entertainment did the latest one, Double Dragon Gaiden. So even a lot of games that just because a developer or a publisher owns an IP, they don't always publish it themselves. Like the Front Mission 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch, they're Square Enix games. Square owns the IP, but Forever Entertainment published them.
Yeah.
Forever Entertainment also did House of the Dead 1 and 2 and Panzer Dragoon, which are all Sega properties. Even Raw Fury did Cruise and Blast, which is a Nintendo property. So it doesn't necessarily mean devs are going to publish their own games anymore. It's more like, oh, you want to make a game for our old IP? Cut us a check and go have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like it's too many games.
Well, I think that's the big thing is, can we get any of those IP, like, we're talking NBA Jam that EA basically takes care of now, and they've, I don't know, let it die. And then like Mortal Kombat, other games that they published over the years that Acclaim's kind of known for, but they just publish the game, and so like they're relying a lot on that. And can they get that kind of notoriety back? Tristan in the chat just says they should change their name to Reclaim instead of Acclaim. Um, and so, yeah, I think it's exciting that they're back, but I don't feel like they're back. I think,
Yeah.
again, nothing bad to say about these games at all. They all look fine, but it's more just, this is more about Acclaim itself.
Even the no, I shouldn't say recently. It was a couple months ago now. On the N64 NSO app, Iggy's Wrecking Balls and Extreme G went to NSO, but they removed the Acclaim logo on the box, and it's whoever owns it now is there. Same with Torok, because Torok was Acclaim,
Hmm.
Iguana, an Acclaim. I think that I know Night Dive did the remakes of Turok 1, 2, and 3, or the remasters, but the NSO app, I think they also don't have the Acclaim logo on there. So anything that Acclaim published in the yesteryear, I believe, is gone. I believe the Acclaim of today is name only. and they bought the name. It's kind of like when THQ went bankrupt and all the IP started getting sold, and Nordic Games bought the THQ name and changed their name to THQ Nordic, and then slowly started like buying their stuff back. That was the smart way to do it because now THQ Nordic is pretty much THQ again merged with Nordic. With this, it's Acclaim in name only. Atari, the same thing. When Atari multiple times, like the Atari of today is not the Atari of the 80s or the 90s or
Yeah.
even the 2000s. It's like multiple different Ataris. So I'd like to see them. I hope these games generate enough revenue that they can go and start grabbing some of their old IP that aren't being used, a dormant IP, and bring them back.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see happen. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic that they're gonna keep going and be bigger, and they're not just gonna become, third party publisher number 385, like the
Hmm.
no identity.
Yep. And Tristan brings up Konami as well. So
Yeah.
let's move on to our next showcase, and Barry's going to tell us all about the Eastasiasoft Fall showcase that just happened, I believe, this morning. Except Barry's muted now.
Was it this morning or was it yesterday?
Yesterday or this morning? I'm not
Yeah, it
sure.
was yesterday. It was yesterday.
Okay, which was just yesterday.
So it was just yesterday. The Eastasiasoft Fall 2025 showcase. We covered these a lot. They did a bunch of new games, and they also did some updates on games that they have previously announced, which I was very thankful for because there were some games that I've been waiting to hear any type of information on. So it's good to see. I'll do this in little groups. I'm sure Steve is going to be playing it right now. So it started off with a little bit of a horror. You have Incantation, which is based off of the movie. It is a first-person like horror style game. Hakuoku SSL, which is Sweet School Life. Hakuoki is a visual novel where you play as a girl in feudal Japan, and there's different men you can court. And now they took those same characters and put them into Japanese high school. Um, and then there's the Tag Along Obsession, which is coming out. Um, I believe that's another horror game. And then Birdcage, which was a shmup, if I remember correctly, that was a really unique shooter. So, Steve, Greg, of these first four, what did you think?
I'll just jump in and say, yeah, not for me. I think
Even Birdcage?
I I have been burnt by a lot of Eastasiasoft shmups. I'm not. I don't get excited about any of them anymore. It may be good, but I'm not. I'm withholding my excitement because I've been burnt many times. It looks
What about
fun.
you, Greg?
I kind of am with Steve. I mean, I'm not super huge into a lot of shmups, but like there wasn't something that was going to be really on my radar to check out. So pretty much most of these are not ones that will probably be looking to further in. Like as I said in the previous showcase, not really into the horror games, and then like the SSL game is not usually my kind of game either. So um, yeah, that's why the first four don't really fit with stuff that I'll be following terribly closely, at least.
Yeah, most of them are not for me, but Birdcage actually, like you, Steve, you and I have done several game
Mhm.
chats with East Asia Soft Shmups. Birdcage, I have high hopes for. It looks really good, in my opinion. Looks can absolutely be deceiving, but it at least looks good. So then we get Reburn, which is like a visual novel type adventure. We've got Super Mining Mechs, which is the sequel to Mining Mechs. It's a 2D kind of like almost like Drill Dozer or Dig Dug style game. Uh, so that's interesting. And we've got Soldner X Hamel Summer. I probably butchered that German name. Soldner X was the first game that East Asia did, or Soldner X2 was. And this is like a remaster, I think, of it. It's another shmup. The first game, or the one they launched with, was so popular. I know Limited Run did a physical, and then East Asia Soft got Play Asia to do their own physical because the physical sold out and people demanded more, and there was no more printed for the Vita. So what's cool is that's also being included on the Complete Collection, which has a physical for Switch. So that game is included on the Soldner X Complete Collection. And then we have Montezuma's Revenge, the 40th Anniversary Edition, a game I've been waiting for forever. We got an update on it. It's coming out soon. It's coming out this fall. This is a game that is a remake of the 1980s Montezuma's Revenge for the Atari, a game I personally grew up with, and it was the first ever like real adventure game I played, like with graphics and platforming. So I'm very excited, and I hope it lives up to expectations, and that they don't walk with controls, which is a hint to a game chat that I don't think has been posted yet, but will be posted with another 40th anniversary edition. But Steve and Greg, what about you with these first four, the second four, I should say?
Yeah. I think the only thing that here I say about Birdcage that I'm cautious about Eastasiasoft shmups, and here I'm going to say I'm actually kind of excited about Soldner, mostly because it looks like a lot like R-Type, and I'm a huge R-Type fan, and it looks a lot like an updated R-Type. So I think that's definitely the one that grabs me. I'm excited for Montezuma's Revenge, but I don't have the nostalgia that you do, Barry. I just know it exists, and that's cool. But I didn't play it when I was younger, and so I don't have that nostalgia like you did.
What about you, Greg?
At least Yeah, at least for me, I also never had an Atari, so I didn't play the Montezuma's Revenge. But even just from like the short clip, it looks like it'd be a fun kind of game that I would be able to get into. But if controls are a thing, obviously that's going to be pretty important to see how everything works out with that kind of play style and everything. But it could be one I could join you on a game chat on or something because it does look kind of fun. The super mining mechs was the only other takeaway from this one. I kind of do like the drilling and digging type games, so it did seem like it could be kind of fun to see how like deep you can go and explore and pick out other things along the way and collect, like mine some resources and everything. So it's seems like it could be a pretty solid game as well. But those are the main two that stood out for this set of four.
Yeah, for me, definitely Montezuma's Revenge. Soldner, I never got to play. I have both copies of the physical and Vita. Never got to play Soldner, but again, it looks fantastic, and I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm excited for that one. And Super Mining Mechs does look like it could be a lot of fun. I haven't played a lot of those other type of games, but it could be a lot of fun. Next we've got Shield Made MX. I've again butchered that again, probably. Another shmup, another horizontal shmup that I think looks really cool. Multiple different ships, but again, we'll see. And then we've got Halloween 1985. This feels like a mix between Donkey Kong and Mega Man because you could pick which level you want to go to and which boss you want to try and fight first. But the levels are all 8-bit, kind of arcade style, and could be a lot of fun. We've had some fun with the arcade era games and the more simple games. And then we had Bar Droid, which is a visual novel with I think dating. It's kind of really weird. And then finally, Dimensional Animals, which is a platformer where you play different types of animals and fight weird bosses. And I have so many questions, but there's like a map in the corner that looks Metroidvania, so I'm kind of intrigued. So, Steve, what about you with these four?
No. None of
Not
these really. Again, skeptical about some of these shmups. So, and then Halloween 1985. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not a visual novel person, and dimensional animals. I don't think that's for me.
for you, Greg.
At least Yeah, for me, like the arcade game, the Halloween 1985 seems could be somewhat interesting, but I don't know if it's something I'll purposely want to like even check out or like buy. But um, I was somehow partially intrigued by the dimensional animals. It seemed like kind of interesting the way each animal has its own like abilities, whether it's like climbing walls and like finding secret paths and kind of stuff. So seems like it could be kind of fun, but I don't know if it. Hopefully, it would get it some type of demo because I feel like that would really either help sell it or help stay clear if it really is not as good as the trailer is perceiving it to be. But I do have a little bit of interest. It could be a pretty decent game, though, so I might be checking that one out.
Yeah, I think Dimensional Animals is my favorite of these four too. It's so quirky and it looks weird, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun. And I don't want to judge it just on this short little bit. I'd love to try it. Uh, I'd give Schmid Made MX a chance too. Again, I've been burned before, but maybe I'm a sucker for punishment. I'll try it again. And Halloween 1985, I feel could be fun. Like again, it's an arcade style. If it's done right, I think it could be a lot of fun. It
Good thing
depends
it's
how it
like
plays.
five bucks. So
Yeah, and it all depends on the control. If it
mhm.
controls poorly, it kills it. So it's a
Uh-huh.
platformer, so it has to do it properly, so to speak. It has to control properly. So then we move on to Doll Defenders, which is like it's almost like Vampire Survivors, but instead of you surviving, you have to defend this idol. And apparently, there's characters from other and some visual novel series. I'm not sure which that you can run into, and they can help you. Not totally sure on that. Then there's Electronic Puzzle Lab 2, which is a puzzle game involving circuits and figuring out how circuits can work. And it's an educational game because it will teach you how to also operate and make circuits. So I love games where you get a mixture of both puzzle, but you also will learn. And then you get Love Chemistry, Sabella's Fortune, which I'm not totally sure what's happening, but it almost feels like a game out of the 80s arcade. Like I feel like, or maybe even like early Sega stuff, like Altered Beast, but with love chemistry. And then you have Magnetic Bonds, which is a looks like another visual novel RPG. So you get turn-based combats with the visual novel aspect of it as well. So well, before we, oh, there's only two more left. So we'll finish it off. There's also Winter Light, where Silence Says It All, which again is another visual novel style title. And then there's Twilight Parade, Moonlit Mononoke, and that is another shmup. It almost feels like a beat 'em up, but with some really weird characters like devils, and you're a girl, and you're fighting weird creatures, and one character's like surfboarding in the air. So a lot of shmups here. So Steve, what's your take on this last six to finish it up?
Yeah. Um I'd rather go play Vampire Survivors instead of Doll Defenders. I'd rather go set up actual electronic boards that I learned how to do when I was in high school than play a game about them. And then the rest of them are just not for me, I don't think. Like even though I like shmups and stuff, just that style, like whatever's going on with these. The of course Eastasiasoft has to bring in the scantily clad girls into their stuff, and so I yeah I don't think really any of the rest of these were for me. Even though some of them I'm sure are going to be fun, but they weren't that exciting for me.
What about you, Greg?
Um, Doll Defenders seemed somewhat kind of interesting, but I don't know if it was just more the gameplay of like how you're just controlling like, this doll and then you're like attacking like enemies and stuff. I don't know if it seemed like it could be remotely interesting, but I guess one of the ones, at least the other one that kind of stood out this other time around was that Love Chemistry game. I almost got like a wife quest kind of vibe from that where with some of
Hmm.
the actions like I think right as Steve like was cutting out the trailer at that point when you were moving on to the next one, but there was like a little scene where you can like like interact with like one of the enemies that after you defeat it, and it had like a goofy little animation just like wife quest did. So that it seemed like it could be an interesting kind of style game. I don't know, it'd just be something I might have to check out further as the release date comes along. But those were at least the main two that stood out of the final six.
Yeah, for me, despite everything, Parade, Moonlit, Mononoke, I think will probably be the most fun because I feel like it's quirky Japanese humor, and I love quirky Japanese humor. And like Greg said, it also reminded me of very much of Wife Quest, and I loved Wife Quest. So I'm interested to see it. And while not for me, when I was watching this showcase, my wife was watching too, and Electronics Puzzle Lab 2 excited her so much that she went and bought the first one on the Switch to play it because she loves circuitry and she's an engineer. So she's like, I didn't even know this existed. This looks right up my alley, and it was like $5. She's like, I'm just gonna buy this and play it, and if I really enjoy it, I'm actually gonna play the second one. So, I think that's really cool, and especially educational now with the son. If he starts to feel like I want to get into that type of thing, I think that's a great way to introduce him to it, or and any child into it. Like, here, play this. You're playing a video game. It's a puzzle game, so you're using your brain, and you're also learning real world stuff with the circuits. So, especially for $5, I mean that's pretty that's pretty good. So that game actually did that showcase actually got a purchase for the first game from my wife. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Nice.
I'm surprised they don't have like a Switch 2 like listed for because I feel like that'd be like an awesome game with the mouse controls. Because that seems
Oh
like
yeah,
something
that
you
would
would
be.
really want to that like just like watching the trailer like and just hearing like how she was like interacting with it. I was like that actually sounds like it'd be a perfect candidate for mouse controls on Switch 2. But
Yeah.
I understand if it's been in development for some time and they don't have a Switch 2 dev kit and can't really
Well,
play around with it. But it sounds like
it
a great
might work
patch or
with the
something.
mouse.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know
does
if they have, I don't know if that's a date or whatever, how they have to do that.
yeah, it
Don't know
may
how that
like because
works.
there's others you can plug the mouse into it as USB or something like that. Does it have? I mean, since your wife's actually played the first one, does it have touch control? Because I think
Oh,
that would be
she
helpful.
hasn't played it yet. She just
Oh,
downloaded
okay.
it
She
tonight.
downloaded it. Because
So,
that's something that I've noticed that a lot of these games that, man, they're just almost there. It's like, okay, if you're thinking about a game that's about like moving things like where they need to be, like Greg said, oh, he immediately thought mouse control. I immediately thought touch control. And I would almost bet it's not in there. It's like a missed opportunity. I would love to play it
well,
with that. If I
touch
have to use
touch
an analog
control,
stick, yeah.
I can see touch control being there because it's native to the Switch 1. So I can see that being there. As for mouse, I'm not sure what it entails. The reason it's not a Switch 2 game is because it can definitely run on the Switch. Why make it a Switch 2 game? Just use Switch 2 features if you're playing on the Switch 2. But it's better for it to be a Switch 1 game, bigger install base.
Mhm.
But I can see them, if not initially, I can see people asking for it and them patching it in, especially if PlayAsia is handling the ports, which a lot of times they are. So what happens is devs will make these games for PC, and that looks like a very much PC, using a mouse. And then PlayAsia or Eastasiasoft will take the game and port it to other systems. So that's definitely something that I can see them going, oh, let's add that in. And if it's not, you know what? We have friends over at Eastasiasoft. We can always ask them and say, "Hey, is this a possibility?"
It's like basically every time you release a game that includes precision control, tell them to put touch control in, and while you're at it, include mouse control now that you can.
Yeah,
Um,
now they can.
yeah.
Well, I'll let you
So
know when she plays. I'll let you know because she plays handheld if it has touch controls or not.
cool.
So I'll
That'd
do a
be
follow up on the next podcast.
that'd be helpful. Looks like Tristan said, have you guys played Aniki? I have not. I don't even know what that game is.
It's on the Switch.
On the Switch. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. So, he's talking a lot about shmups though before that. So I'm wondering if it's another shmup, or if it has something to do with another game we talked about. So,
I think it had to do with the last game in the Eastasiasoft
okay.
showcase.
Let's move into our big discussion for this time. And we had a Nintendo Direct actually happen. The September Direct was back on September 12th. And big day for Nintendo. In fact, their longest Nintendo Direct that they have ever released. I believe it clocked in around 66 minutes, 66, 67 minutes or something like that. They initially said roughly 60 minutes. And I watched some different people who were like live reacting to it online, and it was getting close to that 60-minute mark, and they're like, man, they're about running out of time. And then they went another 6 or 7 minutes beyond that. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff to talk about. Briefly in the chat, Oki Reps also said that he has Cho Aniki for PC Engine. I guess it was a Saturn shmup.
Look up. Yeah, Saturn
Okay,
shmup.
cool.
But I believe it's on the Switch as well as ported.
Okay, sweet. I'll have to check it out. So we have the entire rundown over on our website, NintendoFuse.com. So if you want to just kind of remind yourself, you can check out NintendoFuse.com and see the entire list of all the different announcements that happened during this over 1 hour Nintendo Direct. And there was a lot going on. But we're just going to talk about each of those announcements, kind of group them together in some different ways throughout, as we've done with the Acclaim event and Eastasiasoft. But before we do any of that, I just want to have your thoughts, your general thoughts of the Nintendo Direct. Let's go to you first, Greg. What do you think about this Direct?
Be honest, I would feel like it was kind of a mixed bag. As we go into like all the details, I felt there was obviously some good highlights and things to look forward to, and then there was some stuff where it was kind of like, why are we spending so much time on this, and why is this the way it is? And um, but yeah, I didn't walk away like super impressed. Like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and I switched to it'll be incredible over the next like 6 months. It was kind of like might be hitting a lot more of the backlog after like for a good portion of the like next year or so, unless some other like shadow drops happen. But yeah, we can dive into the details and let Barry give his overall impressions.
I'm gonna do the exact opposite of you, Greg. I was beyond excited after the direct. There's so many games that I'm excited to play. As it is, I already have a huge backlog. As it is, I already have games that I want to play right now, that like Shoot in Order that just came out that I haven't even touched. And this whole fall is crazy. This whole fall, we've got the Sonic Racing is just about to come out. You got Hyrule Warriors, you've got Pokemon, you've got Dragon Quest 1 and 2, you've got Metroid Prime, you've got Kirby Air Riders. Like, so many games are coming out, and I'm super stoked for that. And then you threw in all the other ones that are shown off in this direct, including what's going on. Like, I'm excited for pretty much every Nintendo game, as well as a majority of the third party. Not all of them. I know they don't all hit what I want, and that's fine. But I don't expect them to. And I'm happy for those that are excited for those type of games. And I think a lot of people forget that. They're like, oh, not every game is going to be for me. There's going to be games for other people. And I have to accept that. And like, I think Madden was shown off and like FC, like those aren't games for me. But like, my father-in-law plays Madden now and he got a Switch 2 for that. That's great. I know Steve loves FC, at least when they don't do the legacy editions. And I hope he enjoys it. It's not for me, but I know it's for other people. And I don't mind them showing it off. In fact, it's like, yep, that makes sense that it's shown off there. Like, I would, if I was in charge, I would be putting that in there as well. So I was very excited, and I look forward to the future now. There's a lot for me to play, and not enough time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I was kind of maybe even in between you guys. I was really excited as I was watching it. And then as I've been thinking back, my excitement is less. Um, but it's not like I was like, "Oh man, that was horrible" now. But I when I initially watched it, I was like I was blown away by several announcements, and it caught me off guard and it surprised me, and some different things that happened. And now looking at more details about them, because we'll get into some of these, that that the more details I think that I'm finding out about certain announcements is like, that's unfortunate. And it kind of it softens the excitement that I once had when I was actually watching the direct itself. But overall, I thought they kept it moving really well, and I wasn't ever going, when's this thing gonna get over? I was thinking, man, they've crammed a lot of announcements in this thing, and they focused a lot on Mario's 40th anniversary, or Super Mario's 40th anniversary. That was like the day after. I think September 13th is the anniversary of Super Mario Brothers in Japan, and so yeah, 40 years, which makes sense because we've all been playing it for our entire life. Uh, but uh, but yeah, we started off the entire thing focusing on Mario. And so we'll jump into some of those announcements. As you're watching the video version, I'll have the Nintendo Direct playing, courtesy of Nintendo of America's YouTube channel. And we'll just kind of hit all the different things again, splitting them up as we can. And so again, Super Mario's 40th anniversary at the very beginning focused a lot. Miyamoto came out, and of course that makes sense. And he was the one talking through all the different anniversary stuff. And so the Nintendo Museum in Japan is going to be getting a new art gallery of Mario development. And then there's also going to be a limited time Mario 40th anniversary ticket that you're going to get. There's a 40th anniversary light display that's happening in December. And then there's also they focused a lot on the third theme park that opened in Florida earlier this year. And spoiler alert, I'm actually going to go there in November for a like a half day. So I'm going to run immediately to the Nintendo World. And then also, they are supporting the Kyoto Marathon on February 15th. They're going to be the official sponsor of the race bib, and they'll be participating in other ways as well. And they also showed off the new movie that's going to be coming in 2026, of April 2026. And the title of it is no longer the sequel or two or whatever we thought it was going to be. It's actually the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And we were told that Galaxy games are the core inspiration, but not the exact same story as the games. And they have returning actors, directors, artists, and composer from the first movie. And Miyamoto said that he has been very involved in the movie production and working on it every day. Along with those things, we also got some more Super Mario Galaxy news, as 1 and 2 are going to be coming out on Switch 1 on October 2nd. There's going to be more of Rosalina's library that's going to be featured in both games, and new pages also added to the storybook. And finally, for this little subsection, Rosalina's storybook from Super Mario Galaxy will be a physical product on the My Nintendo store, but it does not include those new pages. That confuses me, but I guess they just decided not. They put it into production before the game stuff was done. I don't really understand, but let's stop there and get what your thoughts are. Barry, let's kick it off with you first.
I'm surprised you didn't include the amiibo and with the rest of the Mario
That's
Galaxy stuff.
true. I forget that those were in my list. All I put was new amiibo, and I forgot that those are also Mario Galaxy. So yes, we do have new amiibo that are dropping on April 2nd. Mario and Luma is one, and then a Rosalina and Luma is another one. I believe those are larger than normal, right?
Yes,
Those are a little bigger.
significantly larger.
Yeah. So okay, that wraps up that section.
So yeah, I'm excited. The theme park, I haven't gotten to go, but I definitely look forward to going with my son as he gets a little older. So I'm excited for that. I'll let the initial rush go through, and everything will be worked out by the time I'm ready for it. I want to go to the museum, but obviously it's Japan, so bring one here to New York. That'd be great. The movie looks fantastic. I love the first one, so I'm super excited. I am kind of confused because I feel like they just jumped to Galaxy. Like you tease with Yoshi at the end, and yes, Yoshi's in Galaxy too, so it does work. But it's kind of like, wait a minute, what about Mario World. That seemed to be where you were going. But you know what? I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, and I'm excited. And I know some people were critiquing that no new cast was announced, and they spent time talking about the old recurring cast. And I'm like, they had to do that. That's fine. Stop nitpicking. If they didn't do that, then there would be speculation who's going to be there. They just told you who was there. Shut up. It's fine. Um, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, I'm glad are coming back. At least Mario Galaxy 1 is coming back. Mario Galaxy 2 was the obvious omission for the 35th anniversary, so I'm glad that is finally available for new players to play. I know that this isn't the same version of Mario Galaxy, like they've updated it. They've obviously added the storybook pages. It's like 4K now. So I'm glad they updated it. I know some people are complaining about the price. They're $40 each or 70 for the bundle for the two games. That is a little steep for older games. I agree, but we also don't know how much of it had to be rebuilt. And I think that's something, we need to factor in. If a lot of it had to be rebuilt, development costs. So, factor that in. I know some people are only going to get Galaxy 2 because they have 3D All Stars. That's fine. That's why they're allowing it. The physical is both games. No mention of limited status, thank God. So it means they're not going to go away. I was kind of hoping they were going to announce that 3D All Stars was back. Like,
Mm.
we're bringing it back. The amiibo look cool. I know, again, some people are complaining about the price of the amiibo. Yes, they're more expensive. They're also bigger. They're probably higher quality. And real world situations, of course, factor into that price. And we just have to accept it, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Galaxy come back. And I'm always a fan of having more games or older games playable and enjoyable by newer people, newer gamers on one system, especially now that I have a son. Like, I want him to experience Mario Galaxy 2, and I want to bring out the Wii U or the Wii to do it, to be able to say, here, now you can play it on your Switch, because that's going to be his first system anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they work the controls in there. I think especially like for Galaxy 2 and all that stuff. I'm sure you can play, with the Joy-Con. But it'd be interesting. I'm intrigued to see how all that works out. As well. But yeah, I'm excited about all these things. Would love to go to the Nintendo Museum. But that's a long trip, and I have not made it to Japan yet, but I would love to. And again, I'm excited to go and check out Nintendo World in Florida in November, even though it's going to be a short trip there. But I'm excited to check it out, at least even for just a few hours. And I'm with you guys as well, like about the movie title. Like, are they gonna like jump through maybe the first act is going to be, or the part of the first act is going to be kind of tying out some loose ends before they jump into the galaxy thing? It's probably what they're going to do. But it is interesting. My guess is it's going to be another 90-minute run and gun animation like the first one was. So like I guess they just thought we need to keep it going just like the first one. So why slow it down with any sort of long storytelling? We now have Yoshi. Let's go to space. And
Mhm.
so maybe that was just their thinking, or also maybe they don't know how many more they're going to be able to make. So let's go ahead and focus on Galaxy next, because we don't know how many of these we'll actually be able to put out in the entire series. We want to do Galaxy. Let's just do it now.
Yep.
So,
I forgot to mention the book, the storybook.
mhm.
I'm also with you. I'm confused why they didn't include those other pages, but I did order it from Barnes and Noble for my son, because
Hmm.
I figure before he even plays the game, we can use it, because he reads bedtime stories, like he reads books at night, and like put that into the rotation, and then eventually when he gets to the gas, oh, I like puts that
Mhm.
association. He used to read me that as a kid.
Nice.
I don't know if you heard the story about the Rosalina's book and how Miyamoto didn't want the book there
Yeah.
to begin with. And
Yeah.
then like that's why he passes it off to Kazumi. Like, here, you now talk about the book. And Kazumi's now like, hey, I'm sneaking it into Galaxy 2 as well. Screw you, Miyamoto. It's
Putting it in
going
there,
in there.
and we're releasing a book.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting too because like if Miyamoto didn't really care about it, but then like it is one of the more beloved things about that game, and so people really enjoy it, and I was drawn into it as well. Like wondering how that story is going to go and everything, and I'm interested to see what these extra pages are. Are we going to be able to find out a little bit more about Rosalina's lore? So, Greg, what's your thoughts about all this?
Yeah, definitely an action way to kick off the first segment here, but definitely super excited for the museum and like you guys have want to plan a trip out there, but it's just not in the cards in the immediate future. So unfortunately, won't be able to see the light show. So hopefully, somebody gets some good coverage for like YouTube or something to show what it was like. Still excited to go to the Florida park at some point in the near future, but obviously I need a job to be able to afford to take a nice vacation there to go check it out. But I'm hoping to make it there within the next few years here. Um, but yeah, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, as soon as like it opened up, I knew immediately recognized it as the movie. I'm like, oh, here's like the breakaways like, trailer for the new one. And then obviously was shocked as you guys to see it was Galaxy and like, why you didn't really fit Yoshi into this? Does it make more sense to do Dinosaur Land first and then Galaxy down? But maybe you guys are onto something where it's like, hey, let's just jump into Galaxy, Yoshi's in Galaxy 2, let's go. Like makes sense. But I don't know. I guess still be pretty interesting to see how the plot and the story goes through with that one, and definitely will be seeing that on its release, probably hopefully opening weekend. But in terms of the Galaxy games on Switch, pretty cool that they're adding some new storybook elements. I did really like that in the first one, and trying to see where they'll take it with the lore, as Steve just said, for even with the second one, because I know there was like some references to Rosalina potentially being like Peach's mom or something. So I don't know how they'll see if maybe that's why they need to go back to that to either kind of erase that or who knows, maybe they'll expand on it. I don't know, but that part is kind of just to see. But as what Barry said, the controversy is mostly around the price, and you don't really know, I guess, until we see the games. I mean, I understand they could have to be rebuilt, but hopefully a lot of it was ported. But 70 does seem kind of steep, especially for a Switch 1 game. So, like, normally it was like 60 was like the base price for those, and even any packages, like all the other previous, like All-Star editions, were like either 40 or 50. So, hopefully, the extra 20 is justified there, and probably will be picking it up just to kind of see what the two story elements are. And those are two excellent games to have on Switch to begin with. So,
Mhm.
there's that. And then the amiibo and those look really cool, but unfortunately, I'll probably be passing on these because the price kind of supersedes my ability to want to pick those up or have those as part of my collection. Because not really a huge fan of to see these basically just little collection points just kind of sit around and have very minimal gameplay elements to it. I mean, if it's like a special mode or a whole extra thing as like a DLC thing, that I can see it justified. And I understand people want more quality figures, but realistically, a lot of them either just people keep them in the box that they come in, or they're like in like display cabinets, like the ones behind me. So, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's the price point kind of is really disheartening to me. Is I really like the Galaxy games, and I thought those figures did look really cool, though. But
Mhm.
it really depends on kind of functionality that they would bring to the games, or if any, that
Yep.
they add to Galaxy 1 and 2 for the Amiibo support.
Mhm.
What's weird is that the amiibo come out next year, but the games come out this year.
Mhm.
So the majority of people are going to be finished with the games before the amiibo come out. So I'm kind of curious what they do.
Yeah, I'm basically thinking that like Amiibo are not what they once were. Like they're not as much of a tie into the game sort of experience as they once were. They're more of they've turned them into a collector thing. And so because of that, they're making them bigger, nicer, and all that saying and they're basically collector's items now that sometimes do something in your games, but it's more for the collector now. And that seems to be why they've kind of upped the quality of them as well.
I use the Donkey Kong amiibo all the time in Bananza, I'll tell you that.
I have not used it yet. Yeah, I got it and then I didn't touch it in the game at all. I really should.
I use it because it always gives you the Kong letters, and
Mm,
they're explosive, so you're constantly infinite explosive tiles to
nice.
throw.
I only had scanned that one once because like at one point in the game I was just prompted like, "Hey, like, do you have any amiibo you want to scan?" And I'm like, "All right, well, did get the new one." And then like, "Oh, here's the new outfit." And then pretty much since I wasn't really collecting the music, I left that outfit on for a good portion of the rest of the game because I was missing so many of the discs at that point.
Nice. Only one other thing I want to draw out from the chat, that Tristan said that, yeah, when the game, when the direct opened up and there was like Mario on a grid, I think a lot of us were thinking, oh, Mario Maker 3. But no, not so much. But let's keep moving because there's a lot to discuss. We got a new Mario Tennis game called Mario Tennis Fever. It's going to be dropping on February 12th of next year, 2026. There's new sliding mechanics, 30 fever rackets with a fever gauge and fever shots that you can play with. And there's lots of different modes, both local and online. It's separated. They also separated the motion controls to a different swing mode, so you're not going to be able to play with a pro controller and motion controls. It's one or the other in different modes. And then there's also an adventure mode that has you playing again as the Mario babies, learning tennis and defeating monsters. And then also, as you're seeing on the screen right now, we are getting a Switch 2 edition update to Super Mario Brothers Wonder. That's also bringing a mode or an extra version called Meetup in Bella Bell Park. That's going to be dropping in spring of 2026, and there's lots of mini games. Big emphasis on multiplayer in this update. There's also from Super Mario Brothers Wonder the talking flowers. They're bringing out. Speaking of collector's items, they're bringing out a talking flower that you can get in spring of 2026. And there's also a brand new game for Switch 2 called Yoshi and the Mystery Book that's also be dropping in spring of 2026. And that rounds up the Mario 40th anniversary or Super Mario 40th anniversary part of the direct. So, Greg, let's go to you first. What'd you think of the rest of the Mario 40th?
Yeah, I've been kind of phased out or maybe even burned on the Mario Tennis like series for the most part. So usually it was one that I always looked forward to, especially on like GameCube. I had really enjoyed this series a ton, but I do know my one friend that I do play games with from time to time. He's probably super excited because he still has over like 1,000 hours logged into Aces. So I'm sure he's happy to move on to take it to the new game there. But definitely excited for him and other fans like it that really enjoy the Mario Tennis series. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder Edition. Um, Probably won't be picking that part up. Usually, I don't really play a lot of like local like co-op games, and it just seems like they're almost trying to bring in that Super Mario or new Super Mario Brothers like you and we gameplay style to Wonder, which would be great to see for people that have people to play with and stuff. So it seems like that could be a lot of fun if you have a good group of friends that you played those kind of games together. The talking flower thing does seem kind of random there, but it might actually be like a little quirky thing that I might pick up. I don't know. It was kind of seemed like it could be pretty silly and have kind of be funny to interact with. And then definitely one of the biggest highlights of the entire direct was the new Yoshi game for me. So I usually really like the Yoshi series. I've pretty much played every single game in his whole series. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do in this one. And really thought it was kind of cool that you can kind of almost like I guess it's almost like a capture sense because it's like you're capturing like an enemy with like his tongue and the mouth, and then you kind of befriend it, and then you kind of learn more about some of the classic enemies from all the way back from the original game on Super Nintendo when it was Mario World 2. So it does seem like it could be a pretty fun like soft adventure, like platforming type game, like the other ones, and it really looks like it could be a pretty fun game, and looking forward to it to release in springtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you about that Yoshi game, and it looks beautiful. I think it's like what they probably wanted Super Mario World 2 to look like, um, but they can actually do that now on the Switch 2. and just make that really come to life. And it's so adorable and looks like it could be a lot of fun as well. And I'm on the fence about the talking flower. Like I think it's fun. Would I get one or not? I don't really know if I need it. It's probably one of those things. It's like, Steve, save your money, use it on something else that's better for you. But it is kind of fun that they're doing it. It's like a little piece of the Nintendo world in your house, because it looks like you just pulled it right out of the game, which has been fun. Barry, what do you think about this section?
Yeah, I don't understand how you're burnt out on Mario Tennis when Aces came out in what, 2018? Like it's only been like 7 years since the last entry, so that that, that's not a real burnout. It's not like they're
Well,
flooding the market on Mario Tennis games.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
there's
I'm
been like one
excited.
on every single system, though. I mean, like even the Wii U had like that faded Mario Tennis
Ultra
Smash,
Smash.
and yeah, but
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
don't
one
know.
on
It's
every.
just
There's been a Smash on every single system too. I guess you're burnt out on Smash Brothers. You know, I mean that to me, it's not flooding the market when there's one on a system. I think that's perfectly fine to have a new entry in a series, especially one that does really well. And I liked Aces. My biggest problem with Aces though was some of those new mechanics. I just wanted to play like the 64 version. Like, let me just play standard tennis, or even the Virtual Boy version. Let me just play standard tennis. So the fact that they're separating the motion control and the non-motion control, I think is really, really smart, and I'm glad that they're doing that. So uh, I'm looking forward to it. I love the story too. Like the story in Aces, I didn't complete. I got right to the end, and it was really difficult, and it was more difficult because of the added mechanics they put in Aces, at least for me. But I'm excited to see this. And is this the first time we've seen Baby Waluigi? Like, I don't know if he's
yeah.
ever
Think
appeared before.
so.
I think it's the first
Yeah,
time
I
we've
don't
seen
remember
Baby
seeing
Waluigi.
Baby Wario, but definitely
I
Baby
thought
He was in
I
Waluigi.
Yoshi's
thought
Island DS.
yeah, Yoshi's Island DS
Uh,
said Baby Wario, but they said Baby Waluigi in there, so now it's canon.
yeah.
But yeah, I just have fun with those games, so I'm excited for it. Mario Wonder, it I don't know if they're adding new single player stuff. It almost seemed like they hinted that they were, and if they are, I'm interested in that. As for the multiplayer add-on stuff, at the moment, I'm not interested in it. When my son gets a little older, I can see that being an absolute blast. So it's definitely something I'm picking up anyways, but it's probably something I will mess around with more, when he's a little older and like the three of us can sit there and play it, and he'll probably have a blast laughing and joking and, you know, bringing back that old school local multiplayer that we grew up with. So I'm excited for it for then, not for now, but for then. The talking flower is not something I plan to buy. However, again, if he really enjoys something like that, then it'd be like, all right, I'll get it for him for his room. Um, because if he enjoys Mario Wonder, then here you go. And it depends on like if they do a price hike, I might have to just like Alarmo, just go ahead and buy it early. We'll see what they do. Yu Yoshi game looks great. Absolutely. Love what they did with it, and love that it's something new. Like they're trying something new with Yoshi, and I appreciate that. I still would love to see them do Woolly World brought to Switch, like especially with the added 3DS content, as well as oh, what was the one on that was just Woolly World. Bring that over. And so many of those games still, like Kirby's Epic Yarn or Extra Epic Yarn. Bring those over. Come on, just keep them coming. More games. I want every game playable on the Switch ecosystem. Let's do it. Because that's where we're going now. Like I have a feeling the Switch 3 is going to play Switch 1 and Switch 2 games, etc. PlayStation's doing it. Microsoft is doing it. That's how we have to do it from now on. Just bring everything onto one platform or playable on one platform, and all the Nintendo games on one platform sounds like a dream.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Um,
Barry said it first, so it could be a Switch 3.
Oh, of course there's going to be a Switch 3. Whether
sure.
it's called the Switch 3 or not, we don't know, but it's
8K
if
and
you I can't see
240
them
frames.
not following up with another system.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not saying there's never going to be another system, but I don't know if they would keep the Switch branding is what I was getting at. But
It's making the money. As long as it's making the money,
It's true.
the only way they're losing it is if they do a handheld and a console dedicated again. And I don't see them putting out two brand new systems to compete when the
Mm-mm.
Switch works for them.
Yep. You get a Switch Lite. That's your handheld.
Yep.
And then yeah, I think I wish part of my life, like there was a season of my life where my wife and I had a bunch of friends that would come over and we watch a show, like I think it was The Office, actually, every week, and then they'd stay after and we'd play New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and we had a blast playing. If that was the stage of my life again and that still happened, absolutely. This update to Wonder would be perfect for that. We'd have so much fun. But yeah, that's not really happening right now in our lives. So, but for people that are, doing that kind of thing, this seems like a lot of fun. Or if you have a large family or whatever. But I don't tend to have too many people over to play video games anymore at this point in my life. But yeah, excited about Yoshi. I still a little, like, I understand why, but it just seemed a little funny that they included in the Super Mario 40th anniversary and included a Yoshi game. But I mean, I know it's in the world, but still,
Yeah.
it's not a Mario
It's
game.
Mario adjacent.
Yeah. So anyway, we got lots to talk about, so let's keep on moving. The next section, we got 4 games, all Switch 1 games. Storm Lancers that dropped that day, a game called Dinkum that is dropping on November 5th of this year, and then also Popucom that's dropping sometime this holiday season, and then Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream. I got another update on that, and it's going to be dropping on the Switch 1 in the spring of 2026. So 4 different Switch 1 games: Storm Lancers, Dinkum, Popucom, and Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream. Barry, what'd you think about these?
Stormlancers actually looks really cool. I feel like it almost got buried in the direct. Um, a lot of people haven't been talking about it, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun. And Dinkum, I heard good things about from the people who have messed around with it in early stages of it. But Tamagotchi Life, I mean, I never really got to play the 3DS version, and I was always intrigued. And I'm not gonna say I'm going to definitely play the Switch version, but if I have a lull at that time period in spring of the big games and I need just something quirky to play, it's kind of like with Endless Ocean last year, where it came out where there was nothing like big out and I was able to enjoy Endless Ocean and have fun with it. Cool. Then it's definitely going in there in my play rotation. Otherwise, if there's a little bit of a lull later in the year, I'll give it a try because I know a lot of people have wanted it, and I think it looks really cool and a lot of fun. And I love it's almost like Sims, Nintendo Sims.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And they get more personality. Greg, what do you think?
I don't think really a lot of these really stood a whole lot out. I mean, Storm Lancer, like Barry was saying, does seem a little bit intriguing. I just don't know if that's be the something that will be checking out. But obviously, a demo could really help with that decision there, even though it's already out. Um, yeah, that was I think one of the main ones that stood out. I'm pretty sure I want to try to get the Tamagotchi Life Lease for my daughter because I know she really liked the Metopia game, and it feels like there's a lot of pretty
Mm-hmm.
similarities with that, but a little bit more expanded and a little bit more like Animal Crossing based as opposed to the just RPGs straight up from Metopia. But um, I think those were at least the main two that at least kind of stood out for this section of 4.
Mm. Yeah, you see Animal Crossing like. There was like several games that were Animal Crossing like in this direct. Storm Lancers is probably the one that stands out to me. I forgot that it dropped that day. I haven't downloaded it. But it's one that I'm looking into. Poppycom looks like it could be a fun game, but I have this feeling that not too many people are going to play it, and the online multiplayer is going to suffer because of it.
Yep.
I think it has potential, but releasing it in 2025, it's not gonna achieve its full potential, just because the market's flooded now. But it looks like it could be fun. And Tamagotchi Life is ridiculous, but not for me. Um, and let's keep on moving to the next section. Another set of 4 games. These games are all going to be on Switch 2 or Switch 1 and also on Switch 2. The first one is Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. The digital edition is going to drop on October 30th, but you're going to have to wait just a little bit longer on the physical one because that's dropping on December 12th of 2025. Again, that's going to be on Switch 1 and 2. Switch 2 only is going to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's going to be dropping just after the new year in January 22nd of 2026. Another Switch 1 and 2 game is called Linked Banner of the Spark. That dropped today of the actual direct that day. And at this point in the direct, I just thought, I'm tired of farming and crafting games, guys. I'm tired of them. There's way too many of them, and they don't interest me at all. I'm sure a lot of people enjoy them. They're probably making a lot of money, and that's why they keep doing them. But I'm personally tired of them. And then moving on, we also on Switch 1 and 2, we're getting Hades 2 that actually drops in just a couple days digital on September 25th, and the physical edition is going to be coming out on November 20th. So we got Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Linked Banner of the Spark, and Hades 2. Greg, what'd you think about this set of 4 games?
I thought this was a pretty good, solid set. Obviously, there's pretty much mostly RPGs or action RPGs in this section. So I actually didn't play the original Hades, but it actually does look really interesting. Like I might even want to either check that one out and then be able to check out the new one. I know my cousin was really huge into the first game, so might be something that would be in my near future. And I still haven't played Final Fantasy VII, so I don't know if I'd want to jump into like an integrator part of the story segment. So I really need to catch up on my Final Fantasy um, like games just so I can hopefully try to dive into this one. And then at least for Mortal Kombat, I've been really excited for this collection ever since I saw it was like announced, and me and Barry covered it like 2 episodes ago, and they had like announced like the special like physical edition and everything. So I'm pretty much all set to probably get that collection. Don't know if I want to do the physical or digital or whatever at this point yet, but um, that's definitely a pretty much must get for me at this point.
Nice. Barry, what be you?
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat is a no-brainer. Love those games growing up, and it's absolutely something I look forward to just messing around with and just reliving a lot of the games and maybe even finishing ones like Mythologies that I never did get to finish. Although it's kind of sucks, it's like only the PlayStation version, not the N64 as well. So it'd be really cool if they were able to get all of them together. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, I already played on the PlayStation 5, so I've already beaten it. It's a good game. It's Uncharted Final Fantasy Edition, really. Linked does look interesting. I know you're sick of farming games. I enjoy them from time to time, and it does look interesting. And Hades 2, um, I enjoyed the first Hades. I beat it multiple times. I never like completely beat it because every time you beat it, you get a little bit of an ending, and you go back and have to do it again. But I very much enjoyed my time with it, and I'll probably play Hades 2 at some point. And I know, Greg, you said you never played it. As of this recording, as of right now, there's still 6 days left. It's 75% off on the eShop. It's $6.24. So if you're interested in giving it a shot, this is a good time to pick it up at that price.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, holy cow, that's really, really cheap for that game. I still can't remember. I feel like I've played Hades, but I don't think I have, but I feel like I have, and I don't know why. Because it doesn't when I log in, it doesn't show that oh, you've already downloaded this game. But I feel like I've played it. I don't know why.
It is a
Um,
roguelike. I
right.
don't know if you know that, Steve. But one
Yeah.
cool thing about it is you can turn on a mode where every time you die, you get a permanent defense buff, and I think it caps event. You get like 2% defense, and it caps I think at 80%. So as you're playing and doing these runs, you are actually able to progress even further, in addition to all the other stuff they give you per run. I thought that was
Cool.
neat. I like when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks cool, for sure. And again, I have to be cautious about roguelikes because a lot of them I don't like, but it looks cool for sure.
You enjoyed Lost in Random that we
Yeah,
played for
and
the
it and
game
it
chat?
reminds me so much of that game. When I
It
was
is
looking at it, it was like, oh my gosh, this is very,
Hate
very
be,
similar.
because they copied Hades. So if you enjoyed the Lost in
Okay.
Random, then you would enjoy Hades because they completely
Maybe
copied
that's why
Hades.
I feel like I played Hades, is because I played Lost in Random.
Yeah, it's very very similar.
Yeah. And then yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I've played the original Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation, and I've not played any of the additional games and remakes and all that stuff since then. So like I feel like, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a great game. I'm sure it is a great game. I feel so out of the Final Fantasy world that I used to be in when I was younger. But it looks really cool, and I know from Barry enjoying it that it is a good game. But yeah, we'll see if I actually get it or not. But all it seemed pretty exciting. Then moving on, we got some new amiibo for Kirby Air Riders. It's gonna be dropping two new amiibo, one of Kirby and one of a Waddle Dee. And the interesting thing of these amiibo, they're actually swappable, so you can swap the characters and the rides that are on there as well. Those are going to be dropping on November 20th. And there's going to be a new Kirby Air Riders Direct, that's part two, that's going to be coming with Sakurai doing a part two because he loves YouTube now. So we're going to get more of him very soon. And then we got more information about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment for Nintendo Switch 2. That's going to be dropping on November 6th of this year. And then a Switch 1 and Switch 2 game that I think this was a surprise, I believe. I think people were speculating that this might happen, but we're getting Dragon Quest 7 reimagined on February 5th of 2026. And the entire time that I was watching that, I'm going, I feel like this music sounds very, very familiar, but I could not place it until they popped up the title. I'm like, yes, that's where it's from. So that was exciting. So, Greg, let's go back to you first and see what you think about the Kirby Amiibo, Hyrule Warriors, and Dragon Quest Seven.
The Kirby Amiibo kind of reminded me like the Starlink stuff that I know you guys dove
Mm.
really deep in with like from Ubisoft. So I feel like some of those like where you could customize like the vehicle and change some of those things around. So that's kind of interesting that Nintendo's doing this with a first party IP now. So um I don't know if it's I guess it depends on my enjoyment of Air Riders. So it does seem very intriguing, like a game I could really get into and enjoy. But I guess it's really ultimately depend on how much that really takes place to see if I want to pick up the corresponding amiibo because it's seems like it's a lot of like Smash Brothers where you can kind of just train the racer and even like the vehicle or whatever to play like you, and then it just eventually learns to how to beat the snot out of you. You do the same thing every time. So, but, um, that would be pretty interesting to play around with, depending on how I get into it. I did find it funny that Nintendo pulled a Smash Brothers Brawl carpet pull on Sakurai and said, like, by the way, you're doing another direct, and he didn't even realize that he was gonna need to together another one. So I did get a kick out of that, and look forward to seeing more information on the game, hopefully coming soon here. Hyrule Warriors definitely destined to pick up this one. I really want to play more of the Tears of the Kingdom world, so it'd be kind of interesting to see that the Age of Imprisonment. So I'm really excited to be picking up this one this holiday season. In terms of Dragon Quest VII, that was definitely kind of out of left field. I recognized it as Dragon Quest. I was like, are they jumping to four or five or? And then I was like, oh, here's seven. I'm like, okay, I guess we're skipping the second set of the second series that they did. So it does look really nice, and I did really like playing the remodeled one on the 3DS back when that released, but probably be looking to pick up this one to add to the other Dragon Quest games that I pick up. So we're looking forward to 1 and 2 dropping in pretty much the next month or so.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is definitely the one that I'm most excited about. I'm not intrigued by Kirby Air Riders. I'm just not. And Dragon Quest 7 looks fantastic. Go in the chat real quick. Basement Dweller is here and said hi. We talked about your game earlier. And then also, yeah, surprised that we got 7 amiibo in this direct. It's the most we've had in a long time. Barry, what'd you think about this set of announcements?
Yeah, so I'm excited for the amiibo. I'm excited for Kirby Air Riders. I think it looks cool. I like the fact that you can mix and match the amiibo, and curious to see what are the new ones, because I said there's going to be more amiibo news and how many other characters. I'm sure there's going to be a Waddle or a King DDD and Meta Knight. I think that'd be kind of silly for them not to at this point. But yeah, I'm excited for more Kirby Air Riders. Hyrule Warriors, super excited for. Love Zelda. In fact, I never did the Age of Calamity DLC. I beat it 100%, but I never did the DLC. So I actually bought the DLC when it was on sale recently, because it was the last Nintendo sale. They had it for like 30% off, which is as good as you're gonna get for Nintendo published stuff. So my plan is to play through that right before Hyrule Warriors, the new one, comes out. And at least this one is officially canon, unlike Age of Calamity, which is almost a what if or an alternate story. And then when I saw Dragon Quest Seven, I knew it was Dragon Quest Seven right away. I'm like, oh my god, they're doing 7. And like Greg, I'm like, what about 4, 5, and 6? I heard that they're going to be doing 4, 5, and 6 in I believe, the HD 2D method. But the I'm excited for this one because I was talking to someone who works at Square, and I tried the PS1 version when it came out, and I played it, but I could never beat it. And when the 3DS version came out, I played it, and I could never beat it. It just drags on for way too long, and it just gets boring, and I lose interest. And he's like, that's the common complaint about Dragon Quest Seven, and we're remedying at that. Like, this is going to be more streamlined. It's going to be more user friendly. It's going to be more, a better experience and the definitive way to play the game. So I'm like, okay, cool. That has me way more excited about picking this up and playing through Dragon Quest Seven now than it did before. And I really hope this leads to Dragon Quest 8 and 9 also getting the same type of treatment. And give us 10. Come on, give us 10 offline. Yeah, it's on Japan. Just bring us 10 offline. Come on.
Um, yeah, and then this next section, I know you guys are really excited about. They're going to be adding a new Kirby theme to the Nintendo Today app, and we're getting Kirby Air Riders news on the Nintendo Today app. Let's not even talk about that because there's something else that exciting that was kind of out of left field that we weren't expecting at all that happened next. And that is Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is getting an update, and the Virtual Boy is coming to NSO for Switch 1 and Switch 2 on February 17th. And there's going to be a dedicated accessory that works on both Switch 1 and 2 that you must use. Costs $99, but I believe you can also get a cardboard version, which reminds me of Labo, which was also hilarious. I believe that's around $30 for the cardboard version, if I remember correctly. But Switch 2 or Switch 1 will slide right in there, and you're going to be able to you have to play it in that method. But we're going to be able to get Mario's Tennis, Galactic Pinball, Tellero Boxer, Wario Land, Red Alarm, Jack Bros, Vertical Force, Mario Clash, Golf, Virtual Bowling, IMAX, Insmouse, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, V Tetris, and 3D Tetris are all going to be available eventually. They're going to roll those out, but again, it's dropping on February 17th. And again, the accessory is required to play. It's a full size plastic version of the original Virtual Boy and the cardboard version as well. And the Joy-Con or Joy-Con 2 controllers are required to play. So if you are playing on the plastic version, you're going to have to put them on your handheld or put them on the whatever that thing is called, the attachment where it makes it into one controller. Or if you're using the cardboard version, you're going to have to hold the thing up to your face the whole time. So choose your poison. Spend $100 on the plastic one that looks like original, or hold it up to your face the whole time in a cardboard version for $30. So Barry, I know you're a big fan of the Virtual Boy. What'd you think?
My only negative I could say is that you have to use this, and I can't see why. I can see why you have to use it to get the 3D effect. That I would have zero problem with. The fact that you can't play it on your TV when you can. People have made TV versions of the Virtual Boy that just play to the TV and you just don't get it in 3D. Why can't the Switch do that? It's what I want to know. And
Yeah.
I can't see them sticking with this. I have to see them like changing it so that you can get 3D mode only if you're using the device, non 3D mode if you're just using your TV. I don't understand why they would force you. I know they want to spend to get the $100, fine, whatever. That's for the 3D. Why would you force that? I think that's dumb. Um, the other thing that worries me is that it's through the subscription. Now, I love NSO. I think it's great. I want to see it keep going. But ever since they took Super Soccer off, I have been scared because that's one of the things that NSO seemed to do. We're going to put the games up and we're going to keep them. And you keep the games, unlike Netflix, where you lose movies every month, or Hulu, where you lose things every month because there's licenses. It seemed like it was understood that when the game went to NSO, this is it. It's a one shot. It's there and it stays. And to have that tied to a subscription is scary. Like if it was a physical cart, great. Even if it was a digital download, that would be fine. But there are people who are going to spend $100 on this and then eventually cancel their NSO, and now they can't use it at all because it's tied to that subscription. So the I'm excited that more people can play it. I talked earlier this podcast about letting every game be played on one system or one architecture. Like, yes, absolutely. So it's wonderful. Some of the games they chose there are great. I never got a chance to play Jack Bros because I didn't get a chance to buy it when it was cheaper. Now it's way too expensive. So I'm excited that I get to actually play it. But I shouldn't have to use the add. Look. I'm already going to buy the $100 add-on. It doesn't matter. I'm one of the few Virtual Boy diehards, but let me at least be able to play it on my couch and relive it on the TV and let other people enjoy it. That's the biggest thing. And then number two, I want Nintendo to come out and make a promise, like NSO games are going to stay permanently, and bring back Super Soccer. I had no interest playing Super Soccer, but now it's a precedence. Bring it back and make it so that every game goes. Because I guarantee you, people will keep the subscription even if they're not using it for that, to be able to play those games and to know that those games are going to stay. Because people buy PSN and they buy Xbox Live and they don't use it online all the time. They use it for the monthly games and then they get to keep those games as long as they have the subscription. And they do it for that reason. So do it. Make a promise out there. These games are not going to go away. That would definitely be a big help. However, I think it's awesome, and I'm glad that it's there, and I'm super excited. I never thought it would happen in a billion years. I figured we would get something even like the Master System, or hell, I would have put the Sega Saturn over getting Virtual Boy, but here we are. But yeah, those two little caveats could be, and they're easy caveats to fix.
Yeah.
And I know like games could be because of the licenses and the different publishers, but Super Soccer was actually published in America by Nintendo. So they took their own game down, or at least their own published game down. Why? I want to
Yeah.
know why that game went down. And that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I love the fact that they made the peripheral. That's fine. I'm not opposed to that at all. It's so funny and so great at the same time. but to require it is kind of annoying because I want to play these games, and I'm okay with them not being in 3D if I play on my TV or play on the Switch and handheld. But like, I can't play these games when I go, on the go. I'm not gonna haul that thing on a plane and set that up in front of me,
That's what the
playing on a.
cardboard version's for.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I'm so excited to play Mario Clash again. My Mario Clash was the game that I was most excited about every time I played the demo in the store because I never owned a Virtual Boy. But that was the one that I got really excited about. And then Wario Land is also fantastic. So I'm excited to play these games. I just wish that you didn't have to play with the peripheral. Greg, what
I,
do you think about
I
this?
think it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys, I don't know if how much I like the idea of having to buy like an accessory just to actually get a use out of it, but I guess they haven't talked to the 3DS team to figure out how to put a 3D slider on the peripheral to say like, hey, you don't need to play in 3D. You can just turn this little switch and it turns the 3D off for you. So there you go. You can play on your TV now. So solve that problem for you guys. But I didn't really get a whole lot into the Virtual Boy because I know it gave me a lot of headaches when I would use it at like the Blockbuster when I would play the demo unit. So I kind of on the fence if I want to even get the peripheral, or but I know there's a number of games that I just obviously missed out on. And it sounds like Steve's knows a number of the good ones there too that he listed off. So it kind of seems like I would need to get it, but not looking forward to having to make a purchase just in order to play it. No.
Right.
I mean, if you've never played it before, like, and you like 2D Mario and Wario Land is fantastic. Mario Clash is a really cool remake of the original Mario Brothers, the Mario Brothers arcade in 3D. Galactic Pinball is a phenomenal pinball game and actually has Samus making an appearance where you get to control her ship in a mini game. Mario Tennis, it's I guess the second Mario Tennis if you want to count like the NES Tennis, but otherwise it's the first Mario Tennis, and it's fun. And DK Jr. It's one of the few appearances of DK Jr. before he was like sidelined completely. There's other games that are great that aren't on there. Like I love Panic Bomber. That's a puzzle game with Bomberman. Jack Brothers is the first SMT game to actually come to America, or the second one, I believe. I don't know if that came out before Revelations, but there's the V and then you have two Tetrises if you like Tetris. V Tetris is more standard Tetris, but you can actually like rotate it around so like the left and right walls can move. So you can like scroll the screen. And 3D Tetris is almost like a giant well, and it's really cool where you have like 3D pieces as you put down, you got to make a full, layer, and it's really intriguing and unique. So there's a lot of fun on the VB that a lot of people just never got to experience.
Yeah.
And Tether Boxer's Punch Out.
Yeah. It's a fun system. I really hope they do not require it eventually.
I
Yeah.
can't see them sticking with it. I
No.
can't
I
because
can't
it's
see anybody
dumb.
playing it with this stinking cardboard thing. Like, I don't. I'm gonna play that game for about 2 minutes and then I'm gonna put it down.
Well, no, what if you're laying down? Like I can see him like laying down like this, or whatever.
Oh gosh. Yeah, not for me. But I'm excited to get it for sure. Not the cardboard one, but the other one. But it is weird that you pay a subscription and then you have to buy a peripheral of $100 or 25 if you want to play a subset of games on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep moving. We are already over 2 hours. This is going to be a long one. Strap in. We've got a lot to talk about still. I'm going to throw a whole bunch together in this next section. We've got Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake coming to Switch 2 early 2026. If you've not played any of those games, they're horror games, and it involves photography within the game. That's a very simple way of putting that, but people love these games. And then we're getting several Switch 2 editions. We're getting One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. It's going to be dropping sometime this fall 2025. 2025. We're also getting a Switch 2 edition of Overcooked, not Undercooked. That's an entirely different thing. Overcooked 2 that's going to be dropping sometime this holiday of 2025. Stardew Valley is also getting a Switch 2 edition sometime this fall. And also Human Fall Flat is going to be getting a Switch 2 edition in the spring of 2026. It's kind of like a Fall Guys kind of game. And then let's keep on going. A couple other games for Switch 2. We're getting Power Wash Simulator 2, which is probably one of the better of the simulator games. It's going to be dropping sometime this fall. And then Suika Game is getting another edition that's going to be coming for Switch 1 and Switch 2. It's called Suika Game Planet, where this is more of a round world instead of just dropping them like Tetris or like other puzzle games. You're going to be able to be around and drop the fruit to the center of the circle. That's going to be coming out in this winter. So talking Fatal Frame, talking One Piece, Overcooked, Stardew Valley, Human Fall Flat, Power Wash Simulator, and Suika Game Planet. What do you think, Barry?
So I'm happy to see more Switch 2 versions of games. None of them were, oh my God, I gotta absolutely get. Suika Game Planet, I instantly thought of you because I know I enjoyed Suika Game, but you
So
really
fun.
enjoyed it. So I'd like, oh, this is Steve right here.
Oh yeah.
I'm and the Fatal Frame 2, I'm glad to see it get a remake and come out. Like I've only played the first one and not very much because I'm not very big into horror games, but I always find it interesting to see. It's one of those Nintendo partially owned IP that people forget Nintendo actually partially owns that they allow to go on other platforms. But like there are several Fatal Frame games that were completely exclusive for Nintendo platforms that just never came here. But like even if you go to the website, it is copyright Koei Tecmo and Nintendo. Like so that means they're actually they have to be making some kind of money off like PlayStation and Xbox sales of it as well. But yeah, it's just interesting that Nintendo has a horror franchise
Mm-hmm.
that they don't even advertise as their own, even though they own some of it.
Yep. Well, they got Luigi's Mansion as well. Greg, what'd you think about this
Eternal
set of games?
Darkness, bring that back.
Yeah, that's what I wish this was.
Yeah, I pretty much fully agree with Barry. I mean, I wasn't really. This is part of the direct that seemed like it kind of went on for a little bit too long at times or whatever. A lot of the games didn't really interest me personally, but as we always say on the podcast, it's great for people that are huge fans of the original games on like Switch One and want to upgrade and get more features and prettier visuals for the Switch Two edition. So, um, not really for most of the games are not really for me, but excited for those that played the Switch One version want to play more of it on Switch Two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Suika Game actually is probably the standout for me on this one. And Overcooked 2, like it looks like a lot of fun. But again, it's a multiplayer game, and I just don't play multiplayer as much anymore. But I'm sure the Switch 2 edition of Overcooked is going to be fantastic. And Stardew Valley, I know is a great game, but I'm over it. I've already said it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And the Stardew
You need to play.
Valley like games, I'm over them all.
You need to play Rune Factory, where the farming is automated and you don't really have to do much, and you can play Zelda instead.
Just let me click a button and tell me what I got. That's all I want. Don't even automate it. Just tell me. Boom. Oh, you got some fruit. Cool. Let's go do something exciting. Anyway, let's move on. The next section, we got some information about Metroid Prime 4 finally. This game is going to be dropping on December 4th. So we finally have a date, and it's going to happen in 2025, pending another, delay. But it's probably going to happen. They said it was December 4th of 2025 on Switch 1 and Switch 2. And there's also going to be a Metroid Prime 1 through 3 visual retrospective book that's going to be dropping on October 28th. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got some amiibo to go along with the new game. Samus is going to be dropping on November 6th. And then Samus and Viola which is her new bike in the game. That's going to be dropping also on November 6th. And then I believe this is the biggest antagonist, I think, in the game, as from what we've been told and seen in the trailers and everything, called Silux. And that amiibo for Silux is going to be dropping on December 12th. So just a couple days after the game. So kind of interesting, again, that they're dropping amiibo not on the same day as the game is coming out, several a month
But at least this
before,
time it's before as opposed
and
to
then
months
Silux a
after.
week after. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever. Why didn't you just save them all and just drop them at whatever? But anyhow, let's talk Metroid Prime 4. Is it getting exciting? They show off enough to actually excite you now? I think the bike looks cool, and that aspect of it. This is one of the better trailers that I've seen, and I'm starting to get more excited about it. But I don't know. I still want to. They haven't wowed me yet. Greg looks like he's having a conversation. So good at you first, Barry.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I've always have been. Metroid Prime is one of those interesting series because I prefer 2D Metroid versus the 3D Metroid, and that's also because I'm not a big first person fan, but Metroid is one of those where I will give it a shot, and I hope it doesn't make me too sick. Yeah, I never actually got to finish much of Metroid Prime. I did like almost all of Metroid Prime 1, never even got to play 2. Did Hunters on the DS, and then Metroid Prime 3, and I'm looking forward to 4. Um, I'm just hoping in this stage of my life I can play it and not get too sick, because it's been a while. But I want to give it the old college try, and it does look exciting, and I like the bike. I think it looks slick. I know some people complained about the bike. They're gonna complain about anything. But yeah, I like it. It looks cool. The amiibo look cool. It's just the plan is to play it on launch day, but it's one of those where if whatever I'm playing in November, if that pushes my play, I'm not gonna cry because maybe I'll have it for the Silux amiibo, and whatever that does, I can do at launch. We'll see.
There you go. Greg, what do you think?
Still really, really excited for Metroid Prime 4 and happy to see it as a date. It was unfortunately a bit later than I was hoping for, but I guess it'll just have to be in next year's Game of the Year contenders and not this year because it's after our December 1st deadline.
It's
So
true.
it'll be
Yep,
fun
it
trying to
is.
cram some. It'll be fun trying to cram some time in around the launch time frame and everything like that. And I did completely play through 1, 2, and 3, and actually beat like the bosses on them, at least from the trilogy pack that had to be released. I couldn't do Prime 1 and 2 the first time around, but it really took the trilogy pack to finally stick through it and learn the patterns and finish off the final bosses. So really excited to see where this one goes, and also kind of intrigued that like Silux is like one of the hunters that was in Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS or was it 3DS or whatever it was, but it's
Yes.
kind of cool that they're probably having some callbacks to that little side story that they did.
He
So I
was
wonder if
wasn't he
the
also in
other,
3? Wasn't he one of the hunters
I,
in 3?
yeah, I don't
I
really
didn't play
super
3. I'm
remember
not sure.
3 a lot. It's been a while since I played 3, and that was the only one they played like once.
Yeah.
But he could be in 3, but I know that was like one of the main ones from Hunters that
Hmm.
you interact with a lot.
Yeah. Let's keep it moving because we got a lot to talk about still. I keep saying that. Let's hit this one just one, and then we'll move on to the all the Pokemon news. Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting an update, or got an update that day. Paid DLC for DK Island and Emerald Rush, and they also dropped a demo of the main game as well. So if you haven't played DK Bonanza, now you have no excuse. Go get the free demo. But the paid DLC, I did download it right away. Haven't played it yet. Really wanted to, but ended up getting stuck in Life is Strange and Prince of Persia instead. But I do plan on playing it hopefully soon, and excited to see what's all involved in there. Greg, what did you think of the paid DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza?
I was definitely very surprised to see that it came so soon. 'Cause I know some people were kind of surprised that it's already getting it, and we're trying to say that Nintendo's setting new precedents and like announcing and releasing DLC a lot sooner than they have in the past. But that I don't think that's the case. 'Cause I know like Breath of the Wild had DLC announced before the game was even out on Switch One, so there's obviously nothing from there. But based on a few comments I've seen on it, doesn't sound like it's very like super in depth like DLC. It's just like almost like a roguelike mode that just kind of repeats, and then you can play just like on all the different canyon layers or all the different layers of the map. So it almost sounded like it was potentially somewhat underwhelming and possibly overpriced, or could have been just part of the main game as a free update, like the balloon update to Odyssey. But I didn't really play it, and I mean, I felt like I was already kind of done with DK, so I wasn't really looking to dive back more into it. But that if what they say is true, it sounds kind of disheartening that it was kind of overpriced for just like a simple side mode that just is basically infinitely repeatable just to get more currency that you can pretty much already do like on
Mhm.
with the main abilities and the main game already.
Yeah, yeah. It does seem like an extra mode that they held back for paid DLC is what it feels like. And having it this close, it's like, you had this in mind the whole time. You just withheld it some from us. Barry, what'd you think about this?
I can agree with that, and I've seen people say that as well. I'm not saying DK Bonanza isn't a complete game because it
No.
absolutely is a
Yeah.
complete game.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel
100%.
like if you remember when you beat Odyssey, you got to go to the Mushroom Kingdom, Princess Peach's castle, and go around there and collect stuff. And I almost feel like DK Island was supposed to be the same thing. Like you get to go to DK Island, and obviously that's part of this DLC now. It's cut in here. I did not get it. I was going to. I was really close to getting it, but like Greg, I had finished DK. I had moved on. I was playing other. I think I was still finishing 100 line at the time, and I was behind other games. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to DK right now. Maybe when I have a lull, I'll be like, oh, I'll go to DK and mess around with that. But then I found out it was more roguelike and just constantly going over. I'm like, not my favorite genre. I'll wait. Now, if it goes on sale, if they're like, oh, get it for $10 for the holiday or whatever, like, yeah, I'll grab it. But otherwise, I'll wait.
That's so funny that you guys jumped on the game right away and played and 100% it. I get it later, and I'm the only one that actually gets the DLC
If
of
there was
us
something
three.
more substantial, like if there was
Yeah.
like a whole new world to do
Yeah.
or another two worlds to do, and in addition to the rogue, like the roguelike thing is fine, put it there for extra content. But if there was at least more to do on DK Island and they added, maybe an extra world or two, to go around, then yeah, I would have bought it and I would have done it. But because there was less to do than I wanted,
Mhm.
I would rather be working on other games. Plus, there's so many game chat games we're doing. I'm
That's
trying to
very
get
true.
through them,
Yeah.
and work is picking up for me too.
Yeah.
So it's like.
It'll definitely be one of those things that I'll play like a little here and there, but I beat the game, so that's the most the big thing, and then I'll have it that I can go back to here and there, and eventually do a little more on with the DLC. Then we move
Yeah,
on. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if I hadn't already basically 100%ed it, I probably would have wanted to get it and enjoyed playing it a little bit longer. But it's like it's already been done for a period of time
Mm,
that it's kind of harder to go back into it. I mean, at least with the Breath of the Wild example I gave, like that's one you could easily put in several hundred hours and you could still have been playing it when the DLC came out. So it's
so
like
it's
it kind of
better for
lines
me
up
to
to
wait.
still yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean if you are just getting the game like this holiday season, then it could be an excellent add-on for it and could be add a lot more enjoyment into the game with it.
Yeah.
Just as someone that's moved on, it's kind of harder to justify to, hey, I want to play this roguelike mode that's essentially
Hmm.
infinite and doesn't
Yeah.
really add a ton of actual stuff there.
Well, especially if you guys are 100% in it, you feel like you're done with that game. And it is more to bring you back in, where I'm like nowhere close to 100%. I just beat the main story. So I'm still good.
Let's go. More
Uh,
content.
that's right. And I love the fact that you can go back to DK Island. That's just fun. All right, so moving into this next section, we're going to start off with some Pokemon news, and there was quite a bit of Pokemon news. 4 different games that were talked about. We're getting Pokemon Pokapia, um, and that's Ditto is going to be playing as a human in a cozy Animal Crossing like game. There you go, another Animal Crossing like game. And that is more farming and crafting. So you know how excited I was about that one. That's going to be dropping on Switch 2. I don't believe we got a date for that one. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. And then Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 edition specifically. That's going to be dropping on October 16th. So just a few weeks away. And there's going to be paid DLC that's already been announced for that one with Mega Dimension. And more details are going to be shared in the future about that. And then we got, we're going to get Switch 1 and Switch 2 Danganronpa 2. 2020 is going to be coming sometime in 2026. Sorry, that's Danganronpa. Barry, I'm curious. Is this the same game that you've always called Danganronpa, or is this a different game?
No, it's
It
the
was
same
just
game.
it's the same game. And when he pronounced it
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa, I was like, maybe this is a different game with its same
No, I
sound or
call it
very
Danganronpa.
similar.
That's
Okay,
what other people call it too. It's
I thought
tomato
so too.
tomato kind of deal.
Okay, I was just making sure that it wasn't just like a Tamagotchi and Tamagotchi sort of thing. So this is we're getting 2x2 with additional story. It is also included with different characters and elements. And then we are getting also Dynasty Warriors Origins on Switch 2 coming on January 22nd of 2026. There's also going to be a paid DLC for that game as well that will allow you to choose a different path and experience. Again, that's going to be dropping the paid DLC as well on January 22nd. And we finished off this section before the sizzle reel with Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection that's going to be dropping on March 13th on the Switch 2 exclusively. Not necessarily Switch 2 exclusively, but not on the Switch 1 is what I mean. And so, yeah, we got Pokemon and Pokemon, Danganronpa, and then Dynasty Warriors and Monster Hunter Stories 3. Greg, what'd you think about this section?
I think most of it might be somewhat of a pass for me. The Pokemon Poketopia does seem kind of intriguing, at least for my daughters. I don't know if that's something that she might want to get into because it's like you're recruiting actual Pokemon as like essentially villagers, but I don't know if that's going to be something that we might want to see if it's at like a local library and we can check it out to see if it's a game that you'd want to hold on to or whatever. But pretty much the rest of them are most likely going to be ones that just get passed over for other games that they'll be playing and be entertained by attention, as there's already quite a lot that we've already covered as well already. So um, may check out the Monster Hunter Stories 3, as Jakester was giving it a lot of praise and said I would probably like that side story thing, but I'll have to kind of wait and see if what else comes out, if there's a demo or whatever closer to the release or something like that. But other than that, but yeah, that was for this section.
Nice. Yeah, I've never gotten into the Monster Hunter Stories one. This one looks great, but I just never have gotten into them. Um, Pokemon Legends ZA is something I'm already excited about. Dynasty Warriors Origins, I think I would be excited about, except for I probably will still be playing Hyrule Warriors at that time. And so I don't want to get into yet another Warriors game, although I'm sure Warriors Origins is going to be fantastic, but too much of the same thing for me. So I probably won't get it. Barry, what do you think?
And once again, I am on the complete opposite spectrum here from Greg because this section was awesome. Pokemon Pokopia, I'm not sure if I necessarily will be playing it, but it's the game that's going to get my wife to buy a Switch too because she is all for it. She
Wow.
loves Animal Crossing and she loves Pokemon. So it's like, yeah, this 1000%, I'm interested in this game. I depending on what else is coming out or what I'm playing, I'll probably check it out, but it depends. Pokemon ZA, like you, Steve, I'm excited for. Maybe not the DLC right away because I think it comes out in February, and it doesn't feel like there's an incentive outside of getting a costume to getting it right away. Like if it was like, oh, if you buy this, you're gonna get the Raichu to start your adventure in ZA instantly, then it'd be like, okay, now there's an incentive for me to do that. There isn't. So I'll tackle the Mega Dimension when it comes out down the road whenever I get a chance to. I don't need to purchase it at launch. But ZA, absolutely excited for. I, Again, I loved Arceus and have high hopes, and I hope it doesn't let me down. Danganronpa 2 by 2 came out of nowhere. What a phenomenal game. The whole series is great. I've already beaten it, but for this other story, I have to play it now. Like, I wish they did the first game first. It's so weird. Although, canonically, 2 comes before 1, so maybe that's why they're doing it. But yeah, like I I'm curious what they're going to do because it's all murders. So obviously, like the character that gets murdered first has the least amount of screen time. This time, will they survive? Will we learn more about those characters? And also the person who does the murder, they also don't get much screen time because they get taken out sooner. But I'm interested to see how big this alternate story is. But if you've ever played the Ace Attorney games and you've never played these, you need to. And if you're unsure, I hope that hopefully this is a demo because my God, they're so much fun. And the intrigue and the curiosity and it's I'm sure this is gonna screw with me because the characters I expect to be bad might be good, and the characters that I expect to be good might be bad, and I don't know how they're gonna change it up. But yeah, it's a series that I think more people need to play. It's just so much fun. So I am excited. Dynasty Warriors, not so much like you. I'm also going to be playing Hyrule Warriors. And I've never really had much of an interest in the standard Dynasty Warriors games. And then Monster Hunter Stories 3, super excited about. I love the first two. They are very different than the Monster Hunter games, which I do not really enjoy. And they are RPGs, they're Pokemon style, they're rock, paper, scissors, and there's a really cool strategy. And the third one looks fantastic. And again, if you haven't played, I think the first two are on sale right now on the Switch, so you can get them too. But yeah, they're great. And the second game I know for sure has a demo that carries over into the main game. So if you're curious about it and you think 3 looks good and you're not sure if you're going to like it, you can get the demo for the second game for free right now. Play it, see what you think, and then you could continue on into 2 or say, I played the demo, I'm good, I'm hyped up for 3. But that would be my recommendation because I think 3 looks awesome.
There you go. We are probably going to be pushing a 3-hour episode, so let's fly through this sizzle reel because that's what Nintendo did. Basically, all games that I believe we've seen before, but we now have release dates for all of them. So in this sizzle reel, we had like 7, 8 games, something like that. So on Switch 2, we're getting 2 Point Museum on October 28th. On Switch 2, we're getting Disgaea 7 Complete on October 10th. On Switch 1 and 2, we're getting EA Sports FC 26 on September 26th. On Switch 1 and 2, we're getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake on October 30th. On Switch 2, we're getting Virtua Fighter Revo World Stage sometime in this winter. On Switch 1, we're getting Lego Voyagers. That dropped on September 15th, so last week as of this recording. Then Switch 1 and Switch 2 getting Little Nightmares 3 on October 10th. And then finally, at the end of the sizzle reel on Switch 2, we're getting Persona 3 Reload on October 23rd. Greg, anything stand out to you?
Pretty much was just the Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which I've already been sold on because they teased this in, like, I think it was like a few directs ago or whatever, back when they did 3. So, um, pretty much already planning to get that one on day one, but pretty much pass on the other ones.
Nice. Barry, how about you?
Yeah, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 for sure. I'm excited about. Interesting to see Virtual Fighter come back to Switch, and I think this might be the first Virtual Fighter on Nintendo, which is kind of cool. Outside of like like Genesis compilations or the NSO Virtual Fighter 2 is there. Lego Voyagers is a game that you and I have to do a game chat for. We have to actually find some time to sit down and play. So
It's
hopefully
forced
that'll be
multiplayer.
fun. Forced multiplayer, so we have to figure out time to play. And I've already beaten Persona 3 Reload. But I will say that if you haven't played Persona 3 Reload, or at least Persona 3 in general, and you like RPGs, you are doing yourself a disservice by not playing Persona 3 Reload, because it is fantastic. Although just like the other Persona games, but it's great. It's absolutely great, and it's so good to see it here on Nintendo.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to be getting FC26 pretty soon, and we'll let you know what we think about Lego Voyagers soon. And then we got a trailer that Barry got me so excited because I don't know much
Same.
about the new games, and I thought, are they actually doing it? Are they actually bringing Eternal
Same.
Darkness back?
I did the same thing.
Oh
I
man,
screamed in excitement, especially with the phone call,
man,
because I'm like, because you get a
yes,
phone call, your
yes.
grandfather has died, come to the mansion. I'm like,
Uh,
yes. My wife was looking at me. I'm like, yes, it's Eternal Darkness. And then once it came back, I'm like, no, it's Resident Evil. I've seen that
yep,
character already. It's Resident Evil
yep,
9. No, I
yeah,
was so mad. But that's my own fault. That's my own
yep,
fault,
yep,
not
yep.
Capcom.
No, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, February 27th, day in and date with the rest of the consoles, right? Like it's coming out the same day. They're able to put it on Switch 2. I'm sure that it's not going to look as good as it does on a PS5 Pro. But dang, it looks really good on a Switch 2. So February 27th, we're going to be getting that, as well as Resident Evil 8, Biohazard, and Resident Evil 7 Village, also
No,
dropping
you
the
swapped
same.
those two.
Oh, did I really?
Biohazard
Resident
is
Evil.
7 and Village is 8.
Oh, I did. My bad. But anyway, they're all dropping 7, 8, 9, all on February 27th, all on Switch 2. What do you think? Let's go to you, Barry, since we were kind of talking about the excitement. We thought it was Eternal Darkness. What'd you think when you actually saw it was Resident Evil?
I mean, I played the original Resident Evils, and I just I've grown past that stage of my life, but I'm so happy for those that are interested in Resident Evil and that like the series. And it's cool that 7 and 8 are even coming, because they're on the Switch, but they're cloud versions, so it's nice to have like proper versions. But and I think nine's graphics look great. I think the character animations looks hyper realistic. And I like the stories of Resident Evil. I like the movies, the animated movies. I've played them. I would watch them. Like I enjoy that aspect of Resident Evil. But the games I've moved past. But I damned if I was so. Oh my God, they did it. I mean, the Virtual Boy was showing off. Everything was on the table at this point.
Right.
Like they bring
Yep.
Virtual Boy back, they could bring Eternal Darkness back. But I am very happy for those that love Resident Evil. I think it's a testament that it's coming out day and date with the other systems, because that is a very, very powerful message. As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to, if you want to get it on the Switch, you're not gonna have to wait. You're gonna get it day and date.
Yep. Yep. Greg, what do you think?
Not really much of a Resident Evil fan, or really played a lot of the games in the series. I did play like Revelations on 3DS, and I don't know, it's probably not something that's really on my radar, at least for the time being, but I don't know, it might be something that changes over the course of time or as it gets closer to the release date. And as with you guys, it's definitely very critically important that they get it out on the same day as other consoles, because I believe that's kind of what hurts a lot of the other games in the past, like on previous consoles, where they stagger the releases, and then it's like, well, we've already played it, and sorry, we'll flat out cancel the Nintendo version or whatever, or just it would be way too much later, and then it underperforms. But I'm
Mm,
definitely happy for fans of the series that be able to enjoy the games at the same time as everybody else.
yep. Well, in the last announcement, we're getting a new Fire Emblem game called Fortune's Weave. It's going to be coming sometime in 2026. And Greg, how about you tell us how excited you are about a new Fire Emblem game?
I definitely need to get all caught up because I still haven't done like three houses or engage. So really need to get back up to speed and get dive back in. But yeah, it's definitely great to see another entry in the series and really hoping to get some time to finish those other two so I can dive deeper into this one because everything looks really incredible and glad to see that Switch 2 is getting a brand new Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, they're not my thing, not my style of game, but it looks incredible, but not my kind of thing. Barry, what do you think about this new one?
I'm kind of surprised you said you haven't done three houses. I figured that would have been one you would have done, Greg. Did Engaged. I beat Engaged. Um, I like the stories in the Fire Emblem series. I just am not a super fan of the strategy RPG combat. And in Engage, a lot of times I would do auto battle until the computer made stupid moves and then I would have to take over. But a lot of times I would just do auto battle and just let it go because I didn't care. I just wanted to see the new story.
Yeah.
And even in the 100 line, which has the same kind of combat, it's more defensive, and I played on the easiest setting so that every turn my character's HP healed itself. If it didn't, I would have been SOL. But it allowed me to just not care and just charge in and just kill. And of course, I still had some casualties, but it allowed me to get through and have some fun with the battles without having to really think about it as much. And that's, I know it goes against the whole S in the SRPG, the whole strategy, but I've never really been a big fan of that type of combat. I just prefer turn-based, standard turn-based, if you will, versus this. So if this has an option to just push a button to win the battles so you can do the other aspects of the game, absolutely. Or if they made the computer smart that you could click auto battle and leave the room and trust that it's actually going to win the battle for you, then I will probably play this at launch. But the odds of that happening are more likely it's going to be the auto battle like from Engage, and it's not going to be as good. And that was the trickiest part of it. I still had fun, but I have to be in the right mood set. It has to be the only game on my radar right now that I'm really in the mood to play, and then I will play it. But if there's even remotely something else I would rather be playing, I'm gonna play it over Fire Emblem. But I figured Greg had to be happy, like, oh, it's Fire Emblem here. I was hoping for Xeno. I was like, are we gonna get Xeno 4? What's Monolith Soft been doing? But you got Fire Emblem instead. Yeah, I mean, they're keeping your series alive.
It's true. Yeah.
That they are, but the main thing is just I don't know if it was like Hero gave me a little bit of like tiresome of playing it like every day for so many years in a row that I didn't really want to like get in dive super deep into three houses. And like I didn't like barely even made it to like the story like where it separates into the three like different fractions or whatever. It was like right around that point is where I'd stopped playing and then never really picked it back up. And then Engage, I don't I only got like one of the first or second like heroes or whatever from the classic games or whatever, and then some reason that one also fell off as well too. So I just need to get one of the like Fire Emblem picks, and then I can probably hopefully get through those two and be able to play this one when it comes out. But I'm not expecting it to be super early. It's probably going to be like something that's like a summer or even like a fall release or something. So
Engage actually got me to play Heroes again just because you got the rings from the Fire Emblem Heroes characters to be able to use in Engage. So maybe boot it up just to get those for free.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of the Nintendo Direct. Lots of games shown off. And again, if you missed it, check out nintendofuse.com. You can check out the entire list of all the announcements, watch the entire thing there as well. Lots of stuff that we're looking forward to over the next several months and year to be playing. And of course, as we get them, we'll be talking about them here on Nintendo Fuse. So be sure to subscribe and be sure to follow us so that you get all of that content. Let's move into our final segment of this nearly 3-hour podcast episode. And it was Nintendo Direct time. You got to know that we're going to go long. And my voice is somehow still holding on. But let's look at what games are going to be coming out over the next couple weeks, as we normally do. We'll be scrolling those on the screen as you see the video version, but we'll call out some of the ones that kind of stand out to us. Next episode is going to be recorded live on October 7th. So over the next couple weeks, we've got Sonic Racing Cross Worlds and Hades 2 both dropping on September 25th. On September 26th, we've got NBA Bounce and also Pac-Man World 2 and FC 26 that I'm excited about. September 30th, we've got Lego Party and Final Fantasy Tactics, The Invalus Chronicles. And then on October 2nd, as we talked about earlier, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. On October 3rd, we've got Borderlands 4. And then on October 9th, a little game called Yuka Replay that I know Barry's excited about because his company's putting it out on physical. So,
We also did Lego Party.
oh, did you guys really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So, Barry, yeah, I'm sure those two games you're excited about. Anything else that you're going to be getting new, or what you're going to be doing over the next couple weeks?
Well, I don't. You haven't heard anything about Sonic Racing, so keep
Not
poking you.
yet.
I would love to be able to review that because that's going to be the next game I play after I finish Trails of the Sky, the first chapter. So that's my primary thing to beat that. Then we'll probably move to Sonic Racing Crossroads because I've heard good things about it. It looks great. I like the other games in it. I'm gonna skip Mario Galaxy, Pac-Man World 2. I might actually mess around with that because I did enjoy the original, but I never did beat the original, so I might go back and try and do that. And then of course Yuka Replay, like you said, I never played ukulele. I was about to for another podcast. They
Oh.
challenged me to play it. I said I was a Kickstarter backer,
Mm-hmm.
but I never played it because I heard negative things, so I just
But
never wound up playing it. But I was about
who
to play
said
it, and then
negative
this was
things?
announced, and I was like, "Oh well, this is announced. Now I'm gonna play this." So super excited because it comes out literally a day before my birthday too, which is great. And yeah, we're publishing it. So I've already seen the game in action at Level Up Expo. I didn't play it. If it's a game I'm already gonna play, I don't want to play it early. Like I'll wait till it comes out. But I've heard nothing but good things from everyone who played it, and it looks fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely something I believe we're digitally publishing it too,
Hmm,
in addition to
cool.
physical publishing. But yeah, physical has extra bonus stuff. There's stickers and there's a map so you can mark where to go. And and for those asking, the physical is complete on cart. It's
Mm,
complete on all systems, but including the Switch 2 version, it is a complete card. It is not a game key card. So if you get that version, you are getting Lego Party is a Switch 1 game, I believe. So that one is going to be complete. It's a standard card. But Switch 2 we are doing complete on card, and that includes you can replay. So support the game. You're helping me out. You're helping my company out, of course, but you're also helping to preserve physical media and preserve games complete and take up less room on your Switch 2 precious memory because like Final Fantasy 7 is like 90 gig just for that one. Like that just eats it up. So
mhm.
preserve, preserve, preserve.
Yep. I got good news for you, Barry, as well. Barbie Horse Trails, I think, comes out on your birthday. So,
My mom would be so happy.
Greg, what are you going to be playing the next couple weeks?
It will depend on, hopefully I can check out either Hades 1 while it's still on sale here, and then potentially pick up the second one if I really enjoy it. Um, I know I was looking forward to the Final Fantasy Tactics, the Chronicles or whatever, because it's kind of like a Fire Emblem-esque, like a Final Fantasy game, so that does seem like it should be up my alley to potentially enjoy there. Probably be obviously hoping to play more of Silk Song and possibly even beat it if I get lucky enough and can manage the strength to go through it. But those pretty much the main ones I'll be looking at for the next podcast.
Nice. Yeah, I think definitely for me, it's going to be FC 26. I'm excited to finally get another soccer game, as it's been. I think I misspoke on the last episode. I think I said FIFA 17 was the last one. I think actually got FIFA 18 because it was on a different system. But it's still been like a long time since I've gotten a FIFA game or FC now. So yeah, I think that's probably of the new games. That's probably the one that I'm most excited about, and then continuing in my backlog as well. So. Well, like I said earlier, our next episode is going to be recording live on October 7th, 2025. And we'll be talking, of course, about the couple showcases that we discussed earlier in this episode, the Indie Fan Fest and also the Sony State of Play. At least if they talk about anything Nintendo related, we'll be talking about that. And anything else that comes up over the next couple weeks. We hope you guys join us. Again, every other Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We'd love to have you in the live chat. But if not, that's why we have it after the fact as well. And then another thing that I wanted to show you guys that I did get was a little Lego set.
Nice.
I don't think it's supposed to be out yet, right? Or is it?
Mine didn't ship yet.
Yeah. Sam's has them. Hassan actually tweeted last week that his Sam's Club had them and mine did not. But I was walking through today and they did, and they're actually a little cheaper there. It's only $50 at Sam's. So you may want to check out your Sam's Club if you want the Lego set. But hopefully, maybe I'll have that built by our next episode as well. We'll see. So that's something else I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks. So
And something else I want to say when you were covering over those games, I did see like a announcement from the Borderlands 4 team that the game is being delayed due to issues with like the optimizations for Switch 2. So like it's not going to be releasing on October 3rd anymore, as we had indicated. I guess it's kind of delayed indefinitely right now as they're trying to fix some issues and stuff with with the game or whatever. So,
good to know.
yeah, I guess they had made like a formal announcement in the last few hours. Like there's an article on Nintendo Life that's covering the details of it and everything. It's not like it's a rumor or speculation, like an official statement that they had put out.
Wow, that's too bad. Well, I guess
I'd rather it be delayed and properly done than put out and it be buggy and terrible.
Yep. That could be a bad stain. So, well, this is almost 3 hours, so let's cut it off. We'll be back, I guess, in a couple of weeks, like we said, and we'll be able to talk more games with you. But if you can't wait until then, join our Discord, join us on social media, join in the conversation there. We'd love to have you again. All those links are going to be in the show notes and the YouTube description. Thank you guys for hanging out with us as usual, and we'll catch you next time. Happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.